WTF, welcome to Funkatopia. I hope everybody is doing fantastically well. I am your host, Mr. Christopher, and welcome to the pre-show. I'm going to make sure that I kind of have this little banner running on the bottom here so that when people join us, they'll be able to see that it's a pre-show. Tonight, we have a very, very special guest that is going to be joining us this evening, and it is... it's an honor because he's been on the show before, so it's really, really cool that he's coming back on. The one and only Matt, Dr. Fink, is going to be with us this evening. So we're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to chat it up. Yes, Michael Bland is here as well. Just to, hey, we got this little bit of a time difference because he's like one time zone over. So I'm just letting him do his dinner thing and just kind of chill and whatnot. But he's here. He's ready. I'll go ahead and say hello to everybody. April from Tampa. What is going on? Krista from Indiana. And look, April from Tampa, you were here like early, and I appreciate that for sure. Yeah. Chad, thank you so much for asking the question. You said, please ask Dr. Fink why him and Lisa switch spots on our draft. Yeah. See, this is the thing. You can go ahead and start asking your questions now. We're going to star them. We're going to bring them over. And once we star them, we'll ask when the appropriate time comes up. Like that. Once we move into the purple rain stuff, we'll bring those questions up. But yeah, please feel free to ask questions and we'll get them situated for sure. So Chad from Minneapolis, what is going on? Joni, what's going on? Arlene, what's up? Lisa, what's up? Man, it's and Christina, what's going on with you? Again, from Minneapolis, lots of folks from, Charlotte, good question. I actually have that one marked down, but, we got that. So let's go ahead and bring in our, let's just face it. He's been here for a lot of shows now. He's back. Drummer extraordinaire and ribbed for your pleasure. Michael Bland.
Yes. In your face. Yes. Ribs. Absolutely. Yes. Anything involved with ribs, I'm into it. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to come on.
No.
Get me up there, bro.
I really had to like I wrote that down last night. I said, I'm gonna introduce him like that.
That's all right.
I laughed when I saw it. I was like, oh,
yeah, we're all adults here, man. Plus that's not that racy.
Lisa says co-host. Technically he's here. He's hosting along. Yeah, man.
I'm taking up real estate, so I guess that means something.
Yeah, man. Kate Eddie's listening from Melbourne, Australia. That's nice. Nice.
I love Melbourne, Australia. Yes, man. I haven't been there in many years.
I've never been there.
Hi, Kate.
Yeah, man. So listen, we got, there's some cool stuff that we're going to get into tonight once we get, Dr. Fink in, but I kind of wanted to look back here over the past, I was looking over the list of just the folks that have passed away this year. Yeah. And it's a lot because last week we had to address the passing of Angie Stone. And it was like, okay, that's a lot. That's a lot. And then of course, Roy Ayers too. Yeah. And this week, unfortunately, we had to deal with the passing of Dwayne Hagen. So, yeah. So listen, for those that don't know, Dwayne was one of the founding members of Tony Tone. Also very instrumental in helping the careers of Destiny's Child, Keisha Cole, Zendaya, even her, and of course, all of his ties to the Purple world. But I wanted to go ahead, since we're in the pre-show mode, I didn't kind of want to mix it up with what we're doing with Dr. Fink, but I felt like we needed to kind of address this because a lot of people in the Purple community were really affected by Dwayne's passing. And I do want to take a second to send because we were talking via text and email, that I want to send a special shout out to guitarist John Wesley Payne. Because when Dwayne's passing was announced, John reached out to me and was very distraught. I guess he was really close to Dwayne. And while he really wanted to come on the show and kind of give condolences to Dwayne, he also didn't want to interfere with the interview with Dr. Fink tonight. And it also makes it really, really difficult to kind of segue out of it when we get into a really deep discussion about people that have left us. So I do want to, just take a few seconds and just, which we've kind of just done in honor of memory of Dwayne and his impact on, just his impact on the music industry. I didn't put a picture up of him. Just his impact on the music industry in general, and specifically in the genre that we love. So, I mean, I wanted to take a moment to give my condolences to everyone here that may have known him personally, especially his half brother, Raphael Sadiq, his friends like John Wesley Payne. Sorry for your loss. So, I never knew him personally. I never had an opportunity to meet him. I've met Raphael, but not him. But I know it's a loss. I know it's a loss for a lot of people, and it's just it really just kind of. Anyways, I wanted to take a moment just to kind of say rest in peace, because I don't want to get too involved in it, because it's sad, So this year has been a monster, taking away some of our heroes, because we talked about Angie Stone and Gene Hackman, and now Dwayne. And it's like, dude, man. So maybe we'll need to do a special about folks we've lost at the end of the year, kind of like the Grammy Awards does, the memoriam section or whatever. Because unfortunately,
it wouldn't be bad to do it. I mean, you know how they do my people. Your people, how they do your people. As a matter of fact, I'm throwing you in.
Just people in general.
Status, yeah. Well, yes, but some folks, get a little bit more,
Mm-hmm.
And, I think it's I mean, I like to go out of my way to honor, basically anybody Black who's made a contribution to the world, because we only get 28 days there, Mr. Christopher.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
What was our saying? No one gets out of here alive, or what was the statement?
I don't remember.
It was like no. I can't remember what the statement was. It's like, I mean, this is it. When you hear,
that's right. Yeah, after this, this is this. At the end of all this, we die.
That's right. It's over.
That's right. That's what it was. Yeah, at the end of all this, we're gone, man. So
it's over.
If you have a gift, you need to pour all that out into the world. Leave this world empty of the gift that God gave you, man. That's really been kind of my mantra as of late. A lot of people, they hold back and they wait for, I'll get around to it. And I'm finding even in my own life, I'm hastening right now, because I realize I got less years left than I've already had,
Yeah, I know.
So it's like, and now is the time for me to kind of squeeze and get, scrape the bottom of the barrel, get it all out, see what I got for the people,
Yeah, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot, man. It's just, I mean, and we're only in mid-March. We're not even mid-March yet. It's
just like, that far out of Black History Month, and we already talk about Black History Month.
Wait, there's more.
March has been doing enough. Yeah, exactly. You want a little more Black History? Here you go. My goodness.
Yeah, it's a lot.
One way out. God
bless
him, though.
Man.
He really did his thing. The last time I saw the Tonys, they had all gotten together. This is some years ago. I think Alan Leeds was at the show. It was at First Ave. And
wow. Alan came out?
Yeah, I think Alan was there. And man, they were just as funky as ever. They did some 3-guitar type harmony funk stuff that was that was crazy. I'm like, oh wow. Yeah. All right, they got that church funk on them,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I never got a chance to see Tony. I never got an opportunity to see them. I was working in a record store in South DeKalb Mall. I think it was South DeKalb Mall. I was working in a record store there, and it was during they had just released their Sons of Soul album. And whoever was running the front desk loved the album and like played it like over and like I would hear it like a dozen times a day, and I was just like, and songs start growing on you when you hear them that minute. It's just
Oh yeah, they grow a little quicker if they're on repeat. They grow a little quicker if they're on repeat.
it's just
you hope you can have one of two reactions, is what I've found, Mr. Christopher.
Yeah, absolutely. It's silly. It's silly, man. It's just but I mean, again, yeah, we'll probably do like an in memoriam. We're going to kind of continue the pre-show just a little bit until Dr. Fink gets here. Right now he's it's not 8:00 yet, but it's Michael and I. We're going to talk about.
Yeah, I was going to say the other thing. I could ask Levi, man. It'd be a great idea if you really want to discuss. Like, I should have thought about this. Levi knew those Tonys coming up. He grew up in California, around those nudes, and he he also played with Raphael's band a few years ago. Actually, he was on tour with Raphael. I ran into Raphael at LAX, and hey man, we'd never met before. And like the third question he asked me was like, "How do I get in touch with Levi, man?" And so I'd like to think that I helped those two connect back together. And then I saw Levi on TV with him, and then they came and played at the Caboose here in Minneapolis. And I had black bibs on, and Levi had some black bibs on. I'm like, oh wow, okay. we going full black tonight. All right, I'd go full black every day. Can't help it, Mr. Christopher.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, I was and the news is crazy too, where it's just like I don't know I don't know if it's all tied to Trump or not, but I mean, did you see the news now on Drewski? Do you know who Drewski is?
I'm not sure. Who's that?
Everybody in the chat room will start laughing. Drewski is, I don't even know what he's famous for. Obviously, he is a social media personality type of guy, kind of like Mr. Beast, but he kind of does. I don't really honestly know what he's famous for, to be totally honest, other than being a social media person.
I think this is a nexus of the internet that I don't visit often.
It's probably a good thing. It's probably a good thing.
I'm not recognizing none of the names.
but anyways, he anyways got he apparently was named in the document from the P. Diddy stuff.
Oh,
and it was pretty brutal. I'm like, why? I was like, oh no, I can't believe they're naming him. They named him, and who else? Odell Beckham Jr. And I was just like, OBJ and Drewski have been named now in this thing of doing all kinds of nefarious stuff, and it's like, okay,
are these basketball players we talking about?
No, OBJ is a football player. He's a football player, and Drewski is a social media.
Oh, right. That's right. You did say that.
I don't know.
Okay. I'm not following, man. I'm sure. Yeah.
No, it's fine, man. It's good. I mean, but it's just crazy. It's just crazy. I'm going to make sure that everything's all good. Yeah. So, and it was another thing I had, and we'll just see. I'm just making sure that
David Dixon is joining us. I saw him a little bit earlier. He shouted out to both of us. Yep. Alana.
Oh yeah, what's going on, man?
Yeah, Chad Martin. Yeah, hey Michael B. Every time I deliver behind the old Glam Slam in Minneapolis, it always brings me back to the "My Name Is Prince" video. That's right. We shot that in the back. I had a gig across town, and Prince kept me there extra late at the video shoot, just despite the fact that I had plans, man. I had a gig. The gig was sold out across town. It was my black rock band called Black Julius. It was with Julius Collins, the lead singer from Dr. Mambo's Combo and Greasy.
Right. How's he doing, by the way?
Well, I have not actually seen him, but I spoke to him on the phone. Apparently, both of his surgeries went well. He's on the mend. He's back singing, man. I mean, he's out gigging, so he must be not in so much discomfort. But yeah, I mean, I think about it sometimes because we've all abused our bodies in different ways. Yeah. I certainly, I ran mine through the ring. I'm trying to get back now.
Doing a good job.
He was lifting weights, 4 times a week. He was doing his thing. He knows martial arts. He was, and to get to be, older in life and then have to have like like spinal injuries and your neck's messing with you. It's just like, man, you're darned if you do and you're darned if you don't, Mr. Christopher.
Well, last time I was in Minneapolis, he was doing, he made an appearance. For those of you just joining us, we will be joined by Dr. Fink here shortly. We're just waiting for him. We're just waiting for the link. But right now, we're just kind of just burning time chatting. But last time was in Minneapolis. It was last year for the celebration. And they had, and they were playing, Mambo's Combo was playing at
Bunkers. Yeah.
And he was there. This was actually before, I guess he had one surgery done and he was about to have another one done. I don't remember.
That's what happened. Yes. He had one and then he had the other. Yeah.
Yeah. So it was really cool to actually see him, performing, and he was doing good. I did see him sit down for a good bit in the breaks, rightfully so. But I mean, don't we all? It's just like,
yes. I stand up on mine.
That's right.
I sit all right, then stay right.
Yeah,
I stand up on mine.
Yeah, I sent you a text. I don't know if you saw, but I officially have my tickets for my plane tickets for April 19th.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I'm ready.
Oh,
I'm ready.
Are you got the ad ready? How long can you get to?
Yeah, I've got it. I mean,
talking about it. I mean, yeah. And there's still some tickets available. I mean, it's not till April 19th, but anybody who doesn't have their tickets and doesn't know what's going on. I mean, it's there
it is right there.
Whoa, watch out! All right, you get professional, bruh.
Yeah. So we've got for those who don't know about it, it's Saturday, April 19th. That is actually the same weekend as Prince's transition. I keep putting that in because the last time we did, not you, but the last time I did an event up there, I was doing a bowling event with Maite and Gilbert Davison, and a bunch of different people came. But there was like a bunch of other events around it that were happening.
Yeah,
and it was pretty cool. But it was good because it makes it good if people can come into town and kind of do like a little bit of a package deal type of thing. It's like, so you're not only doing the bowling event, but then there's this event and this and this and this and that. I do know that, for one, this event is happening Saturday, April 19th. It's going to be 8:00 at the Hopkins Center for the Arts.
That's right.
And it's going to be, you want to tell people about it? Or
there's still tickets available. And just to make sure we understand one another, this is a different former members of the original New Power Generation than whoever might be showing in July. That's a different outfit. That's a different organization. So
all right.
So this one is me and Tommy Barbarella and Levi and Fink's going to be joining us. First time Barbarella and Fink will be playing keyboards together. So that's going to be interesting.
Yep.
And we got Homer Odell and Rick Kenshin from Mint Condition joining us. Right now I'm hoping maybe Stokely will come around because Ashley Commodore also sings with Stokely's band as well. So that's a lot of Stokely company. So if he wants to come down and sing some Prince, we'll let him have the stage because Stokely is the man. Yeah. I've been messing with him since before I joined Prince's band. I was in Mint Condition when they were just playing at the Riverview Supper Club. What happened was Jelly Bean came to the Riverview Supper Club and saw Mint and told Terry and Jimmy about them. And simultaneously, Prince started coming out to Bunkers, and nobody really knew what he was doing there. But eventually we figured it out. He was vetting the band, and then
wow,
and the rest, as they say, is history. But
wow.
Yeah, man. So it'd be nice to see Stoke. I don't have any word on it. I did ask somebody close to me if Stoke wants to come through, let him know. He can sing whatever he wants. We'll back him up. But but it's not official or anything. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be fun. But then after,
no matter what, and then after, you're right. Then after you got DJ Dudley. Tell them about DJ Dudley.
Oh yeah, so after this event, so this is all going to be an amazing show. And as I just mentioned, I've already got my plane tickets and my car rental. I don't have a hotel yet. I haven't decided what I'm going to do, but I will be there as well. And then after this, DJ Dudley D, about like 5-10 minutes away or something like that. they're going to
About
be
10, I think, yeah.
about 10 minutes away from this location. DJ Dudley D is going to be doing a dance party, and that's going to be happening. And that is it still a free event, or is there a charge at the door? Even if it is charge at the door, just
you
pay
might
it.
have to take that up with Dudley. I don't want to misinform anybody, and then have him looking for trying to get cash out of me. So
yeah, it seems unusual. Yeah, it seems unusual that he would do one for free. So my guess is that it doesn't matter.
We don't work for money, but we don't work for free. That's all.
Yeah,
it's not the most important. But hey, he's getting a little friction out of it. Good for him. Can I address a question somebody's asking me about?
Yeah.
Yash at 706 asked, he said, would be great to hear Michael B's memories of the Stars and Bars after show in Monaco. I'll tell you one thing, Prince's guitar was not working, and Zeke, his guitar tech, was working overtime trying to fix Prince's stuff. I remember that Zeke was really stressed out. I also remember the Scorpions followed us everywhere we went. Yes, the Scorpions, the German rock band. Everywhere we were, they were, hey, how's it going? Yeah, hey, you guys are very funky, man. Followed us, and it was like, let's get away from these dudes. Why are the Scorpions following us? They came everywhere we went, man. And also, I do remember this, that the actual Prince of Monaco, Prince basically walked right by him.
I would have too.
Just walk right past the dude. Okay, I guess so. We're not meeting. Okay, great.
I would have too. I don't know what he looks like.
Well, yeah. I mean, not only that, I suppose that's fair. But you would have thought somebody. I mean, you would have thought somebody would have had some manners in the situation. I don't know who. I'm not naming names. I'm just saying that's what happened.
Right.
More importantly, can I continue, or do we have to move on?
No. It's continue. We got
more
time.
Importantly, we played at Stars and Bars till like 6 a.m, and we had a flight, like an Air France flight, at like 9, and we flew to Paris to do the Canal Plus performance of Endorphin Machine.
How long of a flight is that?
A couple hours, it seemed like.
Oh, okay.
But I all I remember about the flight is that we got on exhausted, and about an hour into the flight, the plane just started doing that. And I woke up like, that ain't the right sound of it. What's that? What's going on? And I watched everybody on the flight like wake up, all of our crew and the band, and we were all looking like, what is this? The plane was just going down, man. And
oh my God.
I mean, that went on for probably, how long 30 seconds is when you think your life might be in jeopardy?
Yes.
Yes. That's what it was like. My heart was in my neck for the rest of the day. We were all messed up, man. We went on that show like we could have lost our lives today. Can you imagine if me and Sonny and Tommy and Morris, all the crew, all the lighting people, everybody, all the techs had gone down in that flight, man? So we really were happy to walk away. And I remember we were so kind of been out of shape. I remember they gave us some hard rolls with our we had room service together in one of our rooms at the hotel, and they gave us
sorry about that.
France, you might get a day old roll every once in a while, man. They think it's cool. We used to call it the roof cutter special, because you cut more meat off the top of your mouth than you have it in the sandwich. So
I thought you meant that the plane. I thought you meant like the pilots and staff gave you a roll. It's like, hey, sorry about that dip there. Here's a roll.
We walked away from that whole thing, and we were crazed for the rest of the day. Basically, we had lunch. I don't remember whose room we had lunch in at the hotel, but they brought these like hard baguettes, and somebody started throwing them against the wall. Like, these mother. It was probably Morris, because Morris liked bread with his meals because he's Southern. They eat bread with the meal if you're Southern.
Oh my
and they gave us these hard rolls, and he was just throwing them at the wall like he was Kirby Puckett or somebody, who some pitcher, the pitcher off of some baseball team. That was really a strange day. And then we play one song, and Prince, we play Endorphin Machine. We didn't know Prince was going to just do one and roll out. We had rehearsed all sorts of stuff for that show, we thought. But at Prince, something, I think either his environment, something was bothering him, either sonically, like maybe the monitor engineer wasn't. I don't know. I don't want to point fingers because like I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
He looked a little upset, and we just kind of, scattered, left the stage, and like we were in the elevator, we could still hear the audience yelling.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there's your memory. Okay, Yash.
Glad you're okay.
You got 7 minutes out of me, Yash.
Yeah, there you go. Glad you're okay.
Where's Fink? What's he doing?
He's here. He's here. He's here now. He's here. But let's go ahead. Let's wrap this up since we're talking about it, because Elena just said it is ticketed. It's not free. So DJ Dudley D's. So again, for those just walking in, we are talking about this amazing event called Together. It's going to be happening April 19th at the Hopkins Center for the Arts, featuring the music of Prince, obviously with former members of the New Power Generation, including Tommy Barbarella, Michael Bland, Levi Cesar Jr. Our special guest is about to join us here as soon as I'm done talking about this. Dr. Fink of the Revolution, of course, Homer Odell, Rick Kinchin, G Sharp, JB, Ashley Commodore, and UC Horns. I mean, this is
that's
under the musical direction of Michael Bland.
Yes. Easy face. I don't know why I'm into that lately.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, but and then after this, and I will be there myself. I don't know why I'm not on the flyer, but I'm just kidding. But then after DJ Dudley D is having an event, where is it going to be? Do we know where it's going to be? Somebody was asking where it was going to be, but anyways, it's the after party, and Lisa says it's already half sold out, or half sold about 4 days ago. They expect to sell out.
Yep. We expect to have no tickets left, but I mean, you can still get them. And also I should probably say that this will probably be the last performance of this particular band as the Together. I'm working on a different branding. I feel like the wording of the former members of the original it's starting to get passed around a little bit, and people are starting to get confused. So this will probably be the last one of these. If you see us do another one, it'll be a different situation completely. Yeah. Well, if you want to get tickets for it, because as you just heard, it's going to be a rare event. That's probably going to be the last one of its kind. You can go to funkatopia.com/NPG. Simple. That's right. funkatopia.com/NPG. That will take you right to the tickets for the April 19th show. Get them. Come hang out with me, Michael Bland. And hang out with me. I'm going to leave the dressing room door open all day. You can come in and say what you need to say. Get in my face. That's right. All right. Let's do this. Yes. Tonight, we have a very special guest that I am very excited to have back on the show. I think Prince fans were obviously introduced to Dr. Fink when he appeared on the back of the cover of this amazing album, Dirty Mind. Even though he was working behind the scenes before this even. But while Prince played and performed most of the instrumentation on this album, Dr. Fink did play keyboards on Head and Dirty Mind, and then also on Controversy, Jack You Off also. And of course, as you know, he then would become an integral part of Prince's band, The Revolution, as part of not only the touring band, but also in Prince's legendary film, Purple Rain. You know him. You love him. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt, Dr. Fink. Yay! Yeah, man. hey, man, how are you?
Hi, you guys.
Great. You doing good?
You. Look at that.
Yeah, man. I don't know what's happening there. I can't get you big, so we're just gonna keep you. How you feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good these days after having a few little minor mishaps recently, but I'm fine.
What mishaps can you share?
Well, yeah. I was playing a golf at a Top Golf facility in early February, and I've never been to any of those. Somebody, thought it'd be fun to go there, and I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. I haven't played golf in over a year and a half, I think, even in real life playing golf. And so I did pretty well. And like right towards the end of the game, I twisted wrong my right leg or did something, and I tore a muscle on the inside of my right thigh. And I've never done that in my life. I've never injured a muscle like that. And it hurt a lot.
Man, that's the worst.
But as they say, Kinahora, it's all healed now. Okay.
Yeah, I'm glad. Well, you said a couple. So was that one? Was there something else?
No, that's it. Just kidding.
Okay. It was worth it.
Oh well,
it was worth
the norovirus hit me also in January. I got the norovirus.
Oh,
jeez. Well, what the heck?
How bad did it get?
It was going around like crazy.
Ooh.
It still kind of is, but it's better now. I met people that had norovirus, COVID, and the flu in succession in January. They all got sick. People just, ugh. It's one of those winters with all these bugs. Ugh.
Oh my gosh, it's a lot. It's a lot. Well, I mean, I think it's going around.
Yeah.
I know there was concern about the bird flu being a thing. I'm glad that so far it's not. But we'll see. We'll see. We're gonna just keep on working. You know, I did think about you today because I normally go over like the music history, what happened this day in music and whatnot. And I happened to see that today is the 45th anniversary of the release of Lips Incorporated single Funky Town, which was released on this day, March 11th, 1980. And I heard that I don't know why I didn't know this, that you used to work or you did some work with Lips Incorporated. What's that story?
All he did is he had me come in on the 4th album or something like that he had out. And he had me play on a song called Funk 108. That's all I ever did for Stevie Greenberg back then. It was like about 1981 or 2-ish, I think. 80. It was after Funky Town was a hit. It was the album after Funky Town. I played on that record. Yeah. Just one song though.
It was Lips Incorporated.
He just wanted to have I'm sorry, what?
It was 4. That was the name of that album, was 4.
Hold on, you're breaking up, guys. I can't hear you.
Okay, sorry. Can you hear me now?
The audio. You're freezing and I'm losing you guys. You're cutting out.
That would be on him. Maybe switch.
Is it my internet or your internet?
It's probably yours. It's probably yours.
Yeah, because we're both.
I'm having complete garbled messages, and you've both frozen on your screens. Can you hear me? Just
switch to the phone.
Yes.
I heard your phone.
I'll hang up and get back on again and see if that helps. Okay.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Hold on.
That that happened the first time I had Jesse Johnson on the show. That happened, and literally I kept it in because it was so cool, because he was able to switch to Wi-Fi. He was saying the same thing. We were breaking up. We sounded like robots, and we had him switch to Wi-Fi, because sometimes if you're in the bottom level of your house or something and you don't get good signal, you got to switch to Wi-Fi calling, and it makes it easier. But it's okay. Yeah. It's fine. Here's her back. Let's see if he's got a better connection. Are you there? Is that better?
Yeah, I can hear you. I have good Wi-Fi here. I don't know why it was screwing up. It could be maybe it's Starlink.
Do you live in like Deep Haven or somewhere? Or maybe I shouldn't ask this on the air. Sorry.
I live on a mountaintop on high, above the fray.
Okay, so you get good internet. Yeah, all right.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm in Minneapolis. I'm in a suburb south of Minneapolis. Take your pick.
I'm gonna pick
Hopkins.
Yeah, I'll pick Hopkins. I'll pick Excelsior.
No, but I'll tell you one thing. I grew up in St. Louis Park, which is right next to Hopkins.
Yeah, all right.
Which is an inner early ring suburb. You know, like right after World War II, Minneapolis, the city, expanded outward into the suburbs, right? And they built all these cute little houses for veterans returning from the war. And when you go to St. Louis Park, you see all these cute little houses. They're little square, but little ramblers everywhere. And then, as time went on, people kept expanding and adding. Sometimes they'd put a second level on, or they'd add on to the back into the backyard with more stuff. Anyway, I grew up in a house like that, except that my parents' house was built in 1958, which was the year I was born. They literally moved in the year I was born. And it was, again, a cute little rambler. Little bigger than some of those other ones, but not much bigger, but nice. And then when I was about 8, they got a different house. They went to a bigger place, and then that's where I lived until I moved out. Not far from that house, actually, only a couple miles away in a different area of St. Louis Park.
Gosh, it's just amazing when you think about like your childhood, and not just with you, but I mean, just in general, if you think about all the houses that you lived in growing up. I mean, there's probably some lucky few out here who's like, I've lived in the same house all my life, but
only two.
For most of
houses.
us, really only 2.
Yeah, growing up, yeah.
Man, we were all over the place. I lived in little places like what you're mentioning, lived in the projects a few times. I mean,
wow.
I've done I mean, bounced around everywhere. I mean,
sure,
when
people do.
Yeah, single. I mean, when you're, only child, single mom,
Wow.
she goes where
Okay.
she can, keep
suppose,
afloat.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
You stay where you keep
much
afloat.
like Fink. Yeah, I mean, your mom and dad stayed together like mine did, so we were a little more stable.
But there was a blip in my childhood when I was hit about the age of 13 and a half, 14ish, I think. My parents got separated for about a year and a half.
Oh, so you did feel what it was like to go back and forth a bit.
There was a moment where I was concerned they were going to get a divorce, but they didn't, and they stayed together. But they didn't. Nice. I grew up in all the members of the revolution, we all came from homes that had some little bit of turmoil here and there, a little bit of dysfunction going on. All of us did, including Prince, and probably he had more than we did.
Right.
So we all had that, so we could relate to that, and it affected everybody. Sure. Some people have like super stable homes where the mom and dad stay together all the time, and they don't stray from the marriage at all, and don't get divorced, and they stay in the same house all their lives. Whatever. Some don't do that, but we all had that. And everybody, actually, all the parents from the revolution got divorced except mine.
Wow.
Yeah. And when I go ahead.
No, I was going to say, it seems like also really typical for musicians in general too. I think, I think music is an escapism. And I think a lot of people that have turmoil or any type of, it's where we go.
But when I grew up where I grew up, the people in that area, just actually throughout the United States at that time, statistically, and I don't know if it's the same now or not, I haven't checked lately, but divorce was about 50-50 at that time in the 70s. I remember I grew up in a neighborhood where at least 50% of the adults were divorced or got divorced.
I think that's still a stat.
And that's a national stat still. Okay.
Yeah. I can't imagine it's because it seems like people always say that. That seems like a go-to statement, like 50% of marriages end in divorce. That seems like something I've heard currently.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a mess. But
let's talk about than that.
What's that?
I've heard the numbers are worse.
It could be. Well, anyway, so are there any other interesting topics you wanted to address?
Sure,
with me, specifically about other personal issues that I brought up.
All right.
I'm proud that I'm able to get stories out of you that have not been told before.
Oh, you ain't heard nothing yet, man. That Netflix documentary that they shelved? Oh my God. Woo!
Oh wow! Well, what do you got to say about that? Here. You want to say something?
I never got to see it.
Well, neither did I. Did you wanna?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Some people got to see it. If you know what I mean.
Were you interviewed for it?
Yeah.
Okay. Michael refused to be interviewed. And you were okay. So he got a different vibe from the interviewees than obviously you did. How did you feel?
True. That's not necessarily true.
No. Nobody warned me about the interview much, except Wendy kind of did. She kind of let on that. Well, he interviewed me, and it was a long interview, and it was a bit rough, and blah 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 blah. But she spoke her truth. Okay. And apparently, maybe they didn't like some of that truth. I don't know. But apparently there were some, the women that were involved with Prince. He's a human being. We all have and we just talked about divorce and how people have trouble staying together. And, Prince didn't have good examples of parenting growing up. And so these women spoke out on some things, and it's in there. You know, the New York Times had an article, big, you know, their Sunday magazine published that if people are interested. But there were a few women that did that, and I feel bad about all of it, and it's not cool. And but he's gone now. He's a human being. We have to forgive him. He's moved on to the other side.
Yeah.
He's there, and you know, I feel terrible that, you know, none of us is perfect, and I think they should put the documentary out, warts and all, and he won't get canceled. Maybe some people will cancel him, but his fans won't. I've spoken to the fans, and they just say, you know what? Nothing he did that was negative that way would prevent me or stop me from loving him as an artist. So that's where I think possibly the people that are controlling that may be not thinking as clearly about that as they should be.
I mean, you think of all the negativity and stuff of like the documentaries that have come out about James Brown and about, you know, the list just goes on and on.
Rick James, have you seen the
Rick James? Yeah,
his daughter introduced it and sanctioned it. All his stuff, and it was all out there anyway. All the stuff that he got in trouble for was already in the public domain. So what? But there were these other, like with Prince, this is stuff that was unknown and was kind of hidden, except the inner circle knew about it. Yeah. I certainly didn't know anything until I was gone for many years. During my tenure there, I could see a few things happening. I could notice how he was, you know, he was playing musical women, as they say, like musical chairs. But, you know, it's just like, I didn't know about that. The other stuff that was, you know, the mean stuff. So I don't know. I feel bad. Makes me sad. It hurts his legacy, really, you know, in a lot of ways. But he's a human being. I mean, there's so many men out there that have done worse to women. But that doesn't excuse it, the behavior.
Yeah. I get it, but the point of that being is that there's so many negative documentaries on some of these musical heroes, and they don't get canceled. They're just not. It's just because it's still the mystique of it. It's who they are. It's the totality of who they are. I think
Michael Jackson, I think, got hit a bit.
That was hard. Yeah,
that one, because being a pedophile or being accused of pedophilia, whether it's true or not, I mean, there was never any true proof other than just kids talking about it, and then you tend to go, yeah, it must be true, and he paid people off. So at the same time, again, another extremely psychologically damaged human being, and of course we hate to see people behave that way and suffer and hurt other people that way, and it's sad that they didn't find help psychologically. You know, Michael Jackson didn't, you know, or people didn't intervene sooner with him. So that's all I can say about it. But it's unbelievable, all that stuff when it comes out, if it's true. I hate to. I'm not going to convict him because it wasn't totally proven. You know.
Well, it went to a court. It went to a court of law, and he was never proven guilty of any of that. So
exactly,
it was shocking to me that HBO was even entertained the, you know, putting that documentary out with all these really hard accusations.
With the kids speaking out.
Yeah,
it's really something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
But
sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. Go ahead, Michael.
My feeling is this. I mean, it's doing a full-on warts and all documentary about somebody who's already gone and incapable of defending themselves. I don't know if that's a fair fight.
Well, I've read articles about that too. I mean, I agree. It's not a fair fight.
And also, I guess I would say, you know, it's one thing to speculate, but once the cat's out of the bag.
Well, then edit it if you don't like what's in there. And the women that accused him of all that stuff are still going to speak out like they do. And look at Trump, all the women that have spoken out about him, nothing, it all slides off of him, and he pays people off, and it's just, you know, awful.
Yeah, it can be done. It's just, I don't know. It's I mean, what you think is so? You
the fans want to see his life. They want to see everything. They do.
Right.
I've talked
Yeah.
to people about it. And if the accusations are there, I've talked to people who said, I don't care. I don't care about that.
Yeah, but those are also people who they don't know what they don't care about.
But I'm just saying, let the fans be fans. There are people who still listen to Michael Jackson probably a lot and don't care about
Listen,
his
R.
past.
Kelly's alive and nobody will dare put his records on. So you can't tell
Well,
me
he
that
got
we're not moving
canceled.
at an age where this can be a transformational moment, man.
You think R. Kelly got totally canceled then because of what he did?
He's singing from jail.
But
on people's phones and whatnot.
All right, well, I haven't been keeping track of him, but that guy, I mean, he was doing things really bad, violent, underage slavery. I mean, what he did was way beyond the kind of alleged abuse that Prince may have perpetrated. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying how people react to things. You know, it's like, you can't really cancel Michael Jackson because his music's too good. You know, R. Kelly, I guess, because his music is particularly urban.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's a little easier to just sort of shrug that off, I guess, at least for if you're not black, because there's still black people who play R. Kelly records.
Yeah, of course.
Of
course. They, sure. But I mean, come on, it's like, anyway, don't get me started.
Yes.
I'm not trying to get you started, man. I'm just saying, it's every aspect of your life is not anybody else's business, man.
No, but if people are talking in a documentary about your life and it's there and they have the free reign to put it out there because they signed a contract for that.
Yeah, but there were no 9-hour documentary. You want to tack on 3 hours and say, if now all of a sudden,
if it was 6 hours under contract, then he should edit it he should have been edited before anything happened, before any news was put out there. But those women still would have talked to the New York Times and wherever else, and those stories have been out there for years anyway.
Yeah, okay. Well,
a lot of them
stuff that I never heard before, Matt. Maybe I'm just in a different part of the universe than you, because I keep hearing things that I had no idea about.
Well, yeah, of course, me too. But there are a few things I did know, and I was told about later that you weren't told about.
Okay.
Well, right. Here's an interesting segue. Didn't you do some work with P. Diddy?
Brief moment in time.
Michael was like, "Wait, what?
what are we?"
Dr. Fink did some work with P. Diddy. It was on that TV show, right?
Back in 2008. Yes, it was called Making the Band. It's called Making the Band on MTV. And hold it. I met somebody. No, get this. It was sheer. Wait a minute. Stop. I fell into it. It was sheer happenstance. I was in New York. I was in New York City in 2007, working with another friend of mine who was in town from Belgium, another artist, Chris Vanderheyden, who I'd been working with since 2004 and 2005, working on projects together, writing together. And I went to see him and his producer friend in New York. And then we went out one night and I was contacted by somebody that said, "Hey, you're in town, blah, blah, blah." "Oh, cool. Yeah, you want to meet so-and-so at Murder Inc. Records?" Who was Seven Aurelius, who's a producer back then. And, he did
should have been your first.
He produced. Yeah, he produced Ashanti and some other people. Anyway,
all right. Well, yeah, I got you.
Ja Rule and people like that. Okay, so I said, "Sure, why not? I'm a curious guy. I'll go to the studio at Murder Inc. Records. Why not?" So I went over there, hung out, and then that guy, Seven Aurelius, got hooked up with P. Diddy the next following year, and then he invited me to be on the show with him and be a co-producer for his team on that show. So I went in there and was one of the guys on the team, and I was on camera for, the episode or two, I can't remember. And that was it. Worked on a song, showed us working on writing a song and blah, blah, blah. Thank you very much. And then, the following year, was it 2010 or 2009? I can't, not long after that. It was like the following year, I was in New York playing with another artist. I was working with another guy who I played on his record and was playing his debut CD party, or CD release event in New York. And Seven Aurelius was in town, of course, working with P. Diddy on something. He knew I was in town. He said, "Hey, come over to P. Diddy's studio right near Broadway, right in the heart of Broadway, to work on this project with me, do some session work." I said, "Great." I get there. I'd met P. Diddy back in Florida when we were doing the MTV thing. But then this time he was there again. And I talked to him for a little bit, and then I worked with Seven. Diddy wasn't involved with this project much. He was just there working in another room in his studio. And then when I was getting ready to leave the next day, P. Diddy offered to keep me in New York and keep working further on more stuff. And I almost did it, but I couldn't because my father needed emergency hip replacement surgery.
Oh boy.
So I had to get home. I was scheduled to go home anyway that day. And then they tried to get me to stay, and I couldn't. And that was it. So I went home, helped my father, of course. My mother was going through some health issues too, so it was difficult for her to really even help with that much. And so that was it. And I never heard from P. Diddy again. But Seven Aurelius, I did. I worked with Seven a little bit more after that, but that was it. Go ahead.
Were you shocked when all these allegations and all these things started coming to light about him? Were you like, oh, holy crap?
Yeah, I was shocked actually. But looking back on that, there was a moment where when I was in Miami working at his, like when we did the TV show, they had us in a separate facility which had studios in this big house. It was like the whole house was 3 or 4, like 3 studios in this one house, including a separate pool house with a studio in there. And that's where that's where we had our group, was in the pool house, right? And they were filming and they were filming, and we were all competing against each other on this ridiculous show to see who could make the best song for the best artist and blah 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 blah. Do you remember that artist Danity Kane? You ever heard of them?
Yeah.
They were there while working when we were there. Anyway, so long story short, before we went to that studio, the first day I came into Miami to work on the project, they took me over to P. Diddy's house, which wasn't too far away. So we went to his house. He had a pool house with a studio set up in his pool house. They had me in there working with another team the night I came in, working on some stuff and writing and playing. And then P. Diddy
put you in the pool house. What the?
Yeah. And then P. Diddy comes in to meet everybody, right? And he's talking to me, and we're hanging for a little while, and then he left. And then I had to leave and go back to the condo where they had me staying nearby. And I went, okay. And actually, you know what? They put me up in Trump Tower for one night before they put me in the condo, because the condo wasn't ready yet. So they put me up in the Trump Tower in Miami. Anyway, long story short, I'm walking to go get my car, and I'm walking by Diddy's house, and I look through the window, and he's in this kind of big room, and he's in a white robe with 2 women in white robes hanging out with him. Like right. They're getting ready to get down to business.
Well, as long as you
stories ain't nothing, man. I'm retiring from podcasting, man. Fink just blew up every story I ever had in my whole career.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Well, as long as you didn't get paid in baby oil.
See, man, I knew you were going to go there, man. I was like, which one of us is going to crack first on the baby oil?
It's going to be me.
I'm glad it was you, man.
It's going to be me. Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be me. What was I going to say? Oh, all right. So let's try to get it back on track. I guess this is fantastic.
You threw Trump in there and everything, man.
Oh, but this is
my stories.
I'm sorry. Yeah, that's right, man. I'm telling you.
Right, man. Yes.
That's my Diddy highlight of my career.
That's all right. Mine was not as cool as that at all. I met him at Daddy's house, which was that studio. One
Oh,
time I
sure.
was there visiting a friend of mine who was editing the vocals for Jennifer Lopez's first record, and he said it took 6 weeks of of auto tuning and editing her vocals.
So she can't sing. So she can't sing either.
Yeah. Well, hey,
Okay.
She was giving it her best, I imagine.
So she's pitchy, but she can carry a tune.
I don't know. I'm
kidding.
Apparently not.
All right, man. I'm just saying. Okay. It was, and Diddy was, he took me in the control room. Diddy was in there talking to somebody. Hey, now, all right, then, yeah. Oh, you played for Prince, right? Yeah, all right. Okay, all right, Playboy. All right. Licked his lips. That was it. And I rolled out.
All right, Playboy. All right, Playboy. He's already projecting his own persona on you with that Playboy shit.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh my God.
The other time he was at Record Plant, and you know how I can't remember which one. The one there's a location. There's a record plant where you can see in the lounges, like there's windows, and you can see who's in the lounge. He was in there getting his hair cut, like where everybody could see it. Just some dude with the clippers, and he's just showing out for everybody who walked by.
Oh my God.
Anyway, he got the two women and everybody want to get into something and Trump Tower and you gotta Fink. My stories they're not adding up no more. I gotta go have some crazy stuff happen to me. Just to keep
and not only that, but they had a really great Israeli DJ on our team that flew in from Israel to be on our team. Okay. I'd never met an Israeli DJ before. He was huge in Israel, this guy. I wonder if he's
was he hot?
Did
he have the right? Was he?
He was good, but he kept calling me after he went back to Israel to play on his stuff because he wasn't capable of doing like really cool technical keyboard riffs like the doctor can do. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, you have a thing.
Okay.
There, I mean,
yeah. Nah, I'm okay. I'm average. I'm an average player.
No, you're not.
I'm not. I'm good. I'm decent.
No, because here and
okay.
a lot of people don't know this story, and I want to talk about it now because you've told this story before, and a couple people have heard it. But I've seen people talk about the solo in "When Doves Cry," and I've seen it. It's been brought up a few times recently, I guess, with the re-release of the Purple Rain movie, which we'll talk about in a second.
Mm-hmm.
But for those that don't know, this part of the story is that you were actually 2x'd on this solo because, well, I'll let you tell the story, but for those who don't know what I'm talking about this right here. Hopefully you guys can hear this. Let's see. So obviously we're talking about that solo there. Can you tell the story about that solo? Because there's more to that story about the differences between how you played it, how Prince played it.
Can I say something before he says anything?
Well,
sure.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I've always thought that he slowed the tape down and played that solo. Because some of those turns are a little quick. You know?
Yeah. Here, I got my camera better for you now. How's that?
Oh, nice. Perfect. Yeah. Okay. And actually, Michael, you're partly correct.
It sounds like there's something in there is like no human could get that kind of. It's something about the note duration and how quickly things are moving. Like something. Yeah, I suspect that he slowed the tape down for that.
Doctor, tell the story.
You didn't know that was what he did, Michael? You didn't hear about that?
Not for a fact.
You guessed correctly that he VSO'd the tape down an octave and played it half speed and then sped the tape back up.
Because a couple of those little turns, man, it's like I even watched you play it a couple times on and I was like, I hear what Fink's doing and I get it because some of that's superhuman. Some of that would take I don't know who could.
I've never, when I did it live on the Purple Rain tour, I did my own kind of version of it. I didn't play it note for note. but I got close.
Yes, you did. Yeah,
You know,
definitely.
so to this day, I still do my own take on it a bit, but I still capture at least 3/4 of it in the same note structure.
Absolutely.
But yeah, you have to be classically trained to play that, and you know, really great players could play that solo two-handed. You know, like the best classical players or jazz players could play that literally up to speed and in time. And I could too if I practiced it long enough. Of course, I never had to, and I don't want to. But
Yeah, all right. No doubt.
Right.
You know what happened to
believe
me
you have the
now?
facility. Yeah,
I'm sorry, what?
I believe you have the facility.
No, you
It's
know what
just,
happened to me if I tried that now? I'd get a cramp.
Yeah, you rip a muscle
Yeah.
in your
Especially in my left hand,
arm,
I'd
play
get a
that
cramp in my
keyboard.
hand.
Yeah, especially your left. Why your left?
Because the left hand is a little more weaker than I'm a right-handed. I'm a righty. The left
Okay.
hand is a little less, you know, a little funny.
Yeah. And I'm glad to see that people in the chat room are like, I didn't know that part of the story, because that's what I was seeing. I was seeing all these people making notice of the solo in When Doves Cry, but nobody was mentioning the fact that Prince slowed the song down halftime and did that solo, and then resped up that particular section.
Yeah,
So
well,
it's not played at that speed.
He revealed that that he did that to me later, like 2 years after the fact. He didn't tell me right away.
So you heard it thinking.
I didn't know that part.
Said,
what did you think when you started to try to learn it, Fink?
He was in the background going, I'm gonna mess with Fink.
Oh.
I'm gonna see if he can play this it up to speed like in real time after I get it this way.
Man, what a man.
and what happened the first time you heard it? The first time you heard it, what was your thought?
I went, I'm in trouble now.
Oh,
how am I gonna nail that?
Yeah,
but you know what? You know what? It's no different than playing like Bach inventions. You know, like I used to play when I was younger. You know, sure. You know, it's like. You know, those are the rhythms of it, like that. So you had to play that stuff in your right hand, and
I get it, but there's something about the way the keyboard sounds, Fink. That like it's something in the way it sounds.
Do you know why? Because he recorded it probably in that other octave, and when it got sped up, it really made it sound like a high violin thing.
There's a thing happening,
flitting about.
Like that doesn't sound. It doesn't sound. It sounded artificial.
I'm pretty sure it's an Oberheim synthesizer doing that. But anyway, that's how he did it.
Anyway, he did that with the guitar all the time. He always, you know. So I mean, it just for me it was a hop, skip, and a jump. And he used to hate when I'd figure stuff out. Man, he'd get so mad when I figured out that he played the first like 2-3 songs on Under the Cherry Moon soundtrack, like in one sitting. Like he played the drums first. He's like, "How did you know that?" Like he got upset. I'm like, I'd spent enough time with him to figure out certain things, you know, but he was always mad when I figured something out.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. I used to go to Prince and I said, Prince, what sound did you use on the synthesizer for that particular song? He'd go, I can't reveal my secret sounds.
Yeah, to the guy who's going to play him in his band.
And they said, what do you mean you can't reveal your secret sounds? And I said, okay. I'll figure it out. You'll see.
Oh wow!
And then I programmed it, and he went, "Good job."
All right. That's high praise from Prince. Good job.
Yeah. I mean, he loved playing with
them. I'm sorry, but then he gave up the sounds eventually. But go ahead. What you say? Go ahead, Mr. Christopher. What were you?
I was just going to add on to the fact that he loved doing those little time signatures and stuff, you know, slowing things down and speeding things up. I mean, he did that a lot more than he let on. One of the ones that I had revealed, well, not that I had revealed, it was out there, but a lot of people weren't paying attention to it, was the song All My Dreams.
Oh, sure.
On All My Dreams, there literally is a segment in the verse that says, hear ye, one and all, the double speed playhouse is making a call. And if you take that song, you take that whole segment, that center section, and put it in Audacity or whatever sound program you have, and double speed it, there literally is a whole entire conversation that when you're playing it normal, it just sounds like a slower drone, but if you double speed it, there's like a whole bunch of stuff that you hear that you wouldn't otherwise hear. And he did that a lot. He loved to hide those little gems and just, I mean, but it's cool. It's cool. I mean,
and that's also why his music is always interesting to listen to, because you don't always hear the same thing, not me. Like I hear different stuff all the time, man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely. Because he had so many little detailed, nuancy things in his, especially later in his career. Like as he got into the late 80s, that time frame, and into the 90s, I felt like he kept layering more and more little nuancy details on his work, his music.
But can I mention one thing that always perplexed me?
Yeah.
And you probably had nothing to do with it, but on Kiss, like the marimba starts like in the second verse.
Yeah.
And then it just goes away after a couple of bars. Like, all right. Okay. It's like it's like, wow, I wonder what made him just go, okay, that's enough. Just those couple of bars. And then
well, you know what they say in production, less is more.
I guess it's like it must have gotten in the way of something later on.
That song, and even When Doves Cry, both of those are, and even Kiss more so, are prime examples of, and Sign of the Times is like a minimalist take production wise that he did. And then it's like after that period though, things kept getting more and more complex and layered to me. Like by certain albums got way layered.
Love Sexy.
What's that?
Love Sexy is crazy.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Once it got to that, it and beyond, it got pretty. He kept expanding his palette.
Yeah, I got to imagine, being that the first time that people had seen you was Dirty Mind. First off, how did you meet Prince? Because a lot of people don't know the story.
What do you mean? What do you mean? The first time people had seen me, it was Dirty Mind. What do you mean by that?
The people in the Prince fans, as far as like, all of a sudden there you were on the back cover of Dirty Mind.
Oh no, don't go that far. I mean, we did the Rick James tour before that.
I'm talking about people that may have seen, people that may not have seen you live, right?
Yeah. Okay, I got it. On an album cover, you mean? I see.
Right.
The debut of the band on an album sleeve.
Yeah, but he was in the videos. You weren't Doctor yet.
Yeah, but I was in those early videos.
Yeah, you were there. Yeah, you and Bobby with the double kicks.
Yeah, he was.
But you're right. But we weren't formally like introduced as a group on an album like that. You're correct in that assertion.
Right.
Yes.
Because the first two albums that preceded it was all Prince. Everything was Prince.
Yeah.
That was pretty much it. And all of a sudden, pow, there's a band. So that's what I was referring to.
Exactly.
So it's kind of interesting that, to be able to watch that progression from, the style of music and is a lot of the songs weren't simple, but there was some simplicity to it, to kind of watch them go from that to the Love Sexy stuff, to the Sign of the Times stuff. How are you kind of, watching that progression? What is your thought process? Are you thinking he's getting into territory that I'm not going to be comfortable playing? Did you ever feel like that?
Oh, sure. There were some songs along the way that technically were definitely going to be a challenge if he wanted to try to attempt them live. Songs like Condition of the Heart, to me, that I'd say that one, because it's like an orchestral piece and it's a feel piece. It's not like there's no click there to really guide you in the whole intro section. Sure. It's almost like he conducted himself in the studio and he was able to stay in tune with himself time-wise on all those parts to make them flow just right into each other. And I mean, you can recreate the verses and chorus easily on that, I'm sure. But and you could do the song live. He never attempted it though with us. He never really tried it with the Revolution. I think he knew that we might be too limited to recreate that live. Technically. Wow. All the parts that were layered, it probably might have been more difficult, I think, to pull it off exactly like the record.
Yeah. It's got people are wanting you to share some Rick James stories. Do you
Oh.
I'm sure there's some of those.
Rick James stories. Yeah, well, Rick, as we all know, was a very outgoing individual and rebellious.
That's one way to put it. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
He was a rebel, but his background is so interesting. I mean, he was in Canada working with the likes of Neil Young for a while. I mean,
Yeah.
he's had a really interesting career where he was like in all aspects of style and music and had an eclectic thing, and he became an excellent producer in his own right and songwriter by being under all those influences. So he grew up in a tough neighborhood. I mean, he had a rough upbringing. All these guys, but they're brilliant, and they get out of that, and they're successful. They're driven, and they're ambitious, and and they do it. But on the road, I'll never forget. He tried to get Prince drunk and stoned right away as soon as we were on tour. He's like,
God.
You wanted to party with Prince. Come on, man, let's go smoke a joint, And Prince was back then he was completely anti-drug. I mean, if I had a vodka tonic in my hand, Prince would scold me. Back in the day, I was smoking cigarettes. He didn't like that. I was having a drink once in a while. I was smoking weed. He didn't know. And I was doing cocaine. He found out I was doing cocaine once and got really mad at me. But I quit. I quit in '85, September. I'll never forget. Cold turkey, never touched it again since. Thank you, everybody. Anyway, but in the '80s, we were all in the '80s. It was so prevalent. It was everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, but I digress. Getting back to Rick James, cocaine is a wonderful drug.
Can I ask you a question first, though?
Yeah.
I would have been scared when I was working for Prince to try any of that. Like, just because I needed to have my head on, like, straight to do the job.
You got to understand, I never did drugs performing or at rehearsals ever. Okay. That was my rule, to never go to rehearsal high on anything, and I didn't.
So then when did you do it? Because
after the show. We'd be on the tour bus, and we'd be after the show. We'd have a little smoke of a little weed or something. Okay. And then the road crew would invite us into their hotel room because those guys were living on coke so they could stay awake.
Sure. So so at least somebody had a stash. Well, yeah.
Yeah. So that was what was going on there. But hey, they used to put coke in fucking Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola had coke in it at one time. Anyway,
so Fink have coke in them sometimes.
That's right.
Did you ever smoke with Rick James?
No, I didn't do any drugs with Rick. I didn't party with Rick. I didn't party with his band much. We hung out a little, but we kind of kept to ourselves a bit. It was a rivalry kind of took place immediately because Rick felt threatened by Prince because Prince was like kicking butt every night. We were.
Yeah.
And they were great. He had no reason to be insecure. He was giving Prince a break. They loved us. They loved him. Case closed. Don't be jealous. Don't be mad. Let it go. Let go of those freaking egos. Don't need it. It's bullshit. Okay, so anyway, Rick got in trouble with the police like in Alabama, or I can't remember what, might have been Arkansas.
Yeah.
Not Alabama.
We should not get in trouble.
Well, we were playing on the Chitlin circuit, right? It's called the Chitlin circuit.
Right, yeah. It's
the Chitlin circuit. Yes, brother.
It still exists. They just don't call it that anymore.
They just don't call it.
I don't mean to sound racist, but that's what they told me. We're going to do the Chitlin circuit.
Be racist.
What's a Chitlin? I never heard of such a thing. And there's a story about Chitlins, I'll tell you. Hold on.
What's a Chitlin?
Wait, it gets better. Wait, I'll get to the Chitlin story. That's coming next.
Okay.
Don't let me forget. Keep that in your head. Don't forget the Chitlin story.
Nope.
Okay, so
ready. Chitlin.
So the police show up. The police show up because we're on the Fire It Up tour, right? The Fire It Up tour. This is the tour with the Rick James album Fire It Up. The two big joints come up. People with two big joints. They're holding the joints. There's smoke coming out. The whole
Uh-oh.
Oh,
The
no,
first
not now.
song, Fire It Out Arena, lights up their joints. All you got a contact high just standing there watching the show. So anyway, police say to Rick, yeah, Rick, we heard you've been smoking a lot of weed, and the people are smoking weed in the audience, and you're smoking weed on stage, and it's against the law. We can't have you doing that, Rick. And if you smoke any weed on stage tonight, we're going to have to arrest you. I'm standing right there watching this Southern cop tell Rick James in that accent. Rick goes, okay, fine. We'll be careful. And that was it. He stuck to his word, but the whole arena lit up like you wouldn't believe. Is always,
wow.
how are they going to police that?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. This is 1980.
Yeah.
Early 1980. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm having food at one of these concerts backstage. I don't remember which part of the tour. We're down south. They have the buffet like they have backstage with all the food. And of course, there's chitlins there, right? In the sauce. Being from Minneapolis. No, wait. Being from Minneapolis, I've never had a chitlin in my life.
But you've had lutefisk, haven't you?
Actually, no, I didn't try. I've never had lutefisk either, because you got to remember, I'm of the break.
Yes,
I mean, not that I wouldn't have, but nobody offered me lutefisk. I was always told, don't eat the lutefisk; it's lousy. People discouraged me from eating lutefisk. Okay, so long story short, what was I just saying again?
We were talking about
chitlins. You never
the
had
chitlins.
one.
The chitlins were there. So I got all the food, and I'm eating. I'm sitting there. I'm sitting with Des Dickerson, guitar player, and Bobby Z, and we're just eating, and I go, wow, this is really good. What is this, man? This is like noodles or something. Some kind of noodles in a brown sauce. Sounds great. Really good. I'm like, and I'm loving it. And Des starts laughing. He goes, Matt. He goes, Matt. Those are chitlins. What? Chitlins. Chitlins? What are chitlins? Oh wait, I've heard of chitlins. What are chitlins? I've heard of that.
And then
I've heard that word. I didn't know what that was. He goes, those are pig intestines. And I go, what? And my eyes got, and I'm like, okay. Thank you very much. And then I got turned off immediately. I was like, I've been eating pig intestine.
But it was delicious before you knew what it was.
It was really good, but I'm not supposed to eat like stuff like that. I wasn't keeping kosher. It didn't matter to me. But I'm joking. These are jokes. Anyway.
I know.
As if you start with pig intestines. If you're gonna have pork, you're not gonna start there.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So Rick James, at the end of that tour, I found out that Rick James had taken some of our keyboards with him. He stole them, literally. Took them. Kept them and recorded stuff on his next record. Prince found out and got him back.
So there's been multiple versions of the story. I had the story
that's what I heard. What's true?
No, well, that's to be contested. First, Rick James tells a story in his book that he stole the keyboard, he played it, it was street sounds or that he played on.
Songs.
Did he just take one? Did he just take one of our Oberheims, one of our OBX Oberheims?
I don't remember which one it was, but anyways, he took it and then he gave it back to Prince, left it outside of his house or something with a note on it saying, thanks for the keyboards, MF whatever, and then signed it. And then I went to verify this story because I had Stone City Band, all the members of Stone City Band here. And I said, is this story true? And they say, never happened. He never stole a keyboard. We were with him all the time. How would he have done that? Blah, 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 blah. We had our stuff. He had our stuff. We had better stuff. It was like, okay, now I don't know what's true.
Yeah. Well, guess what?
It's true.
Prince told me personally to my face that happened.
Oh boy.
And that is probably as authoritative as you're going to get I would say in this story. That's If Rick James said he did it and Prince said it happened,
the other dudes are just trying not to get in trouble.
Right.
That's
And speaking of the Stone City Band, I had a chance to see them a couple years ago. They did a gig. Mark Brown did a gig with them, with Mark's band, and I played on that one with them.
Oh, wow.
With the Stone City Band. It was like a special birthday event for 50th. No, what was it? His 80th birthday would have been? Some kind of like 80th birthday celebration of Rick James.
Yeah,
and it was outside of California, outside of LA, like over in the East LA area, way east.
Yeah, and they're still doing their thing. I saw them last year here. Matter of fact, did a bunch of photos. So if you guys go to facebook.com/Funkatopia, there's a bunch of photos that are up there that I took of that show. So it's it was a good show. Good show.
Okay.
But man, just speaking of touring though, Sheila E. had you done any active touring before Prince? What were you doing before Prince to get into that door and start that process?
I was playing in Midwest touring cover bands, two of them, two separate ones, each one in succession, and then Prince. So, and prior to that, see, my first band started when I was 12 and a half.
Okay.
And it was comprised of the neighborhood guys that were musicians, like literally on the same area, like within a 3-block area. And so we played with the nucleus of that group. We added another guitar player in our 10th or 11th grade year by then. But that group stayed together from 7th grade all the way through our senior year. And we were playing all around the Twin Cities when we could. And we were doing a lot of private school parties, like the ones with like high school dances. And we were always booking ourselves into all that stuff. And then after high school, I got in another group. Right before I was graduated, I went there's this other group touring around the Midwest, all of the 5 states, like Iowa, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, like that, traveling around all the venues and ballrooms and clubs and stuff like that. That group was called Zachariah. They had been established for a while, and they were all cats, that were older than me, in their mid-20s or so. I was fresh out of high school. I was like 18, and I did that for about a year and a half, and then I joined another group called the Beartown Rockets, which was a bunch of guys from White Bear Lake, Minnesota, which is an eastern suburb of St. Paul, completely opposite side of town of where I grew up, from Minneapolis. The western suburb of Minneapolis to the eastern suburb of St. Paul was like a 45-minute drive from my house.
Yeah,
and they were all from there. They were all great players, and they insisted that I drive to White Bear Lake and rehearse, since they all lived there. So I was forced to drive 45 minutes each way to rehearse with these guys. But I did it because they were good, and one of the guys was a good songwriter, and I was doing some stuff with him. And then he left the group and went on to do some solo stuff in his own way. That guy's name is Will Sumner. Hi, Will. If you see this, I'm giving you a shout out. You know Will. Sure.
Yes, absolutely.
Great guitar player.
Yes.
He lives out west in California now. But the rest of those guys, I lost touch with all of them after I left, and that was when I jumped off into Prince. And there was actually one other group just before Prince that wanted me to be in their band, and they were signed to RCA Records too, or Columbia. One of the two. I'm trying to remember. They were called Daisy Dillman. Do you remember them? They were they were a very popular country rock band here in the Midwest, and they were about to go. They were about to go national. Mm-hmm. They were about to be like big backing from big label. They had great people in that group too.
That was the first round, man. Like it was them and like Doug Maynard, all these different bands.
I played with Doug a little. He'd sit in with the Beartown Rockets once in a while.
Right on, man. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
There was. I mean, people think that Prince came, brought the first wave around, and it actually it was earlier than that. Yeah.
Yeah,
and people were already starting to kind of catch on that there was some talent up here.
Well, Lip Sync had their big hit, ahead of Prince, just right at the same era.
Right.
And you had other groups before from the Midwest that did okay
like
too.
the Trash Men and all that.
How about Gypsy? Gypsy was based.
Jim Walsh and them.
Yeah, and the thing about Gypsy is the drummer that I brought into Zachariah from my high school band, from my childhood buddy, started our first band together. When I left to be with Zachariah, he was still, he wasn't doing something else. And then not too long after that, he came in the group because our drummer wanted to quit and be our sound man. So I said, you should get my buddy, John Neifeld, who I grew up with. He's great.
John Neifeld is who you're talking about? Okay, I know.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great drummer.
Yes.
Fabulous drummer.
Absolutely.
So he was my childhood buddy, grew up together.
Okay.
So he came into Zachariah, and then after he was in Zachariah for about 6-7 months or so, 8 maybe, he had an opportunity to audition for Gypsy, and he got in the group. So he went on tour with Gypsy for a couple years. That's all he lasted, though. He didn't get along with them as much.
Sometimes it's not even really how good you play.
Yes, yeah.
Aren't the Jets from up there also?
Yeah. They were based here, but they were originally from
Were they Samoan?
Samoan, yeah, Samoa. Samoan island of Samoa, I believe, right? They're native.
The maiden name was Wolfgram?
Yeah. Yep.
WOLF, like GRAM.
Wolf. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Double M, yeah.
I played on their album too, by the way.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay, I always thought that was like Ricky and Paul Peterson and Oliver.
Yeah, they were on it. They were all over that. And I played on a little of it too.
Okay.
A little bit of keyboard work, yeah.
Right on, man. I like the Jets. I thought that was strong material, man.
Mm-hmm.
They were good.
Yeah.
Definitely a good band. Now, when you go on tour with Prince, that's really the first time that you had, I mean, talking about jumping right onto a speeding train, it's just like, you're just going like right into it. Sheila E. had told a story about when she went on tour. I mean, she's toured with other bands. I don't know why this happened to her, but when she went and toured for Purple Rain, when she got to the end of that tour, she ended up owing money because she didn't realize that everything they were handing her and, whatever else was, she was having to pay for this, that, and the other.
Oh, all the fur coats and whatnot.
or whatever, all the different types of things that happened. Did that happen with you when you were on tour? Did you ever, like, I know if I was the age that you were when you did that, I would have blown through. I was so irresponsible and ridiculous.
In other words, did I blow my money?
Or I mean, how were you able to be fiscally responsible during that period, or did you experience
in the early years? Like what period you mean?
Let's talk about the Purple Rain period.
I did my best to save as much as I could from that era, and throughout my career, I did the best I could. It didn't mean I succeeded, but yeah.
What was your biggest initial first splurge that wasn't gear?
Oh, well, when I would go on tour, I didn't splurge on frivolous things. I really didn't. I mean, I didn't go after cars, really. I didn't go after I like clothing. I like fashion. I like getting like designer stuff. But I wasn't into
all night on the gig.
Yeah, but I wasn't into jewelry, or I was more into music gear, like keyboard gear and studio stuff. I was trying to put together my own little studio setup in my home back in the mid '80s and all that stuff. Sure. But when I would be on tour with Prince, like, and particularly in Europe on European tours, like the Parade tour, Purple Rain didn't really go to Europe. Prince should have gone to Europe and Australia and Japan, but he just elected not to. He just wanted to do the US and be done. So eventually we did get over to Europe and Japan. We never did Australia as the Revolution. He did that much later after we were done with the Revolution. But anyway, long story short, I would buy cool clothes, designer stuff. I would sometimes I'd spend $20K just for clothing in Europe or something. Oh no, I'd spend 10. I'd spend 10 because the other 10 was going to my first wife.
Oh, well. All right.
Yeah. She was buying clothes too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, I've lost the audio. Can you hear him?
Hello, hello, hello.
Chris, I can't hear you speaking.
Chris, did we lose you? Oh, we lost you, Chris. I've lost you as well. Yeah, we lost you.
Okay, now
Now you're there.
Yeah,
Now
you
you're
got
on.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, got it. All right.
So yeah, I was a clothes hound.
That's all right. Then, yeah. Good.
And you know what? You know what's really cool? I kept a lot of that stuff. I have it still.
Those
clothes, the clothes I bought, the designer
really
stuff, I still have it. If anyone's interested in some great 80s vintage like designer shit.
Well, that brings up a good conversation. That actually brings up a good conversation because you just recently had some auctions of whatnot that you had put not just all of these cassette tapes. I mean, I don't know how many cassette tapes were in this mix.
39.
And also the unreleased Rebels album.
Yep. That was my only cassette copy of that, by the way.
Really?
Yeah. I didn't want to keep it. I digitized it. I still have a copy here, but I wanted to sell it because it's already out there. It's been bootlegged for years.
Yes.
But because it was my personal copy that they gave me at that studio, it made it kind of a significant artifact to be sold at auction, in my opinion. Because you know what? I looked at it this way. Either I was going to sell the stuff now, or my kids were going to be burdened with it later on. And I talked to them and they said, yeah, Dad, we don't want to mess with that stuff. I mean, you do it. You should do it now. And have it, sell that stuff and take the money that you kind of need to.
Do you think that it has to do more with the fact that you have a much better concept as to the value of what the stuff is, as opposed to, like, I'm always concerned, like, after I pass away, this shit's going to be like in Goodwill or something. And there's like some really expensive stuff that's but was there anything that when you did these auctions, you did a bunch, it wasn't just tapes, you also had keyboards and stuff. What were those keyboards used on that you had in that auction?
I only had one keyboard that I sold. Well, there was only one keyboard, and there was a MIDI keyboard, like it was just strictly a controller keyboard, which just doesn't produce any sound. That didn't sell. I didn't think it would, but they wanted to try and sell it. I mean, Prince played on it. He used it in the studio and stuff, and I did too. But you can't plug it in and hear anything out of it. It has to be connected with a MIDI cable to a rack-mounted synthesizer or something else to it triggers the sound from there. So it's just a dummy keyboard triggering something else. That's not that great of a collectible. People want guitars and stuff like that.
Man,
go ahead.
But when you're putting this auction together, is there anything that you were like, as you're getting these lots together, I guess is what they call them, as lots, right? Was there anything you like held in your hand and considered and thought, not that? Is there things that
No.
Everything was up for grabs. You were just.
Yep. Hey, I can't take it with me.
Yeah, that's true. You can't. It's funny that you say that, and I didn't even think about it or perceive it that way until Jesse Johnson had said that to me. He said that he was doing the same thing, that he literally was going to be selling all of his stuff. He's going to be selling his albums. I mean, the gold records and stuff, those things that he has, he was just going to just let it go. He was just like, what do I need it for? It's all here. What do I need it for? And it's just unusual to hear, you say the same thing, because I know so many people that are the exact opposite, where they really want to hold on to it. And these collectors that are really, really hardcore.
I'm not as materialistic as some people that way. I'm not, things like, I don't know. It's cool. They're flashy and show offy and stuff. And I had them here in the studio, and I kept some. I still have some gold records and things that I didn't sell. But the issue is it intimidates people sometimes. If you're a new artist and you're coming into my studio to work with me and you see all the gold records and stuff on the wall, it tends to intimidate them. And it's all, some have said that even. So then there's people who, because of what I did with Prince, there are people out there that think that I'm not accessible, or that I wouldn't be interested in working with them, or that I'm like ultra wealthy somewhere living in a mansion on a hill fully retired, but no, that it couldn't be further from the truth at this time. So, yeah, I'm about to go Social Security here. I just turned 67, but
Congratulations.
hopefully Elon won't take any of it away from me, for fucking God's sake. I mean,
Elon's trying to take it all, Fink.
I don't get this at all. You know what? You're going to see a bunch of old geezers marching on Washington if they dare to touch our Social Security. Okay.
Yeah, I tell you, well, Michael and myself feel the same way. You feel that way now, about to enter into retirement. When we get there, we're just like, is anything going to
be there?
No, there will be no Social Security by the time I get.
Well, here's the thing. These guys, oh God, don't get me going on politics. No. Okay. I'm not going there. I'm not going there.
What is there even to say? It is what it is until
it's craziness.
You know how I look at it, everybody? Think this thing. James Carville said, I mean, if you're on the Democrat side, said, just let it ride. Let them do what they're going to do. It's okay. We don't have, they don't have the power to do it. It's going to be what it's going to be. And, people start protesting and they get really bent out of shape. That could be a problem.
Yeah. Who is it that said insanity is rare in individuals, but in mobs, it's the rule, basically.
But at our age, it's like I'm not going to go march anywhere. I'm not going to protest. I don't want to. I wanted to get I wanted to do the whole George Floyd marching and all that during COVID, and I thought I'll probably get killed, from COVID because I'm old. I'll be out in the public even with a mask. It'll leak in and I'll die. I mean, it's
pick your battles.
I thought no. I mean, I couldn't do it as much as I wanted to help.
Speaking of Purple Rain, this past week, last week, Wednesday, they did that release of the 8K scan of the negatives. And it was in Dolby Audio, whatever it was called, whatever version of Dolby it was. Did you get an opportunity to see that?
No.
Yeah, it was one night only. Michael, you didn't end up going either, did you?
How was it?
I think what's interesting about it is yes, it is an 8K scan of the negative, but still most movie theaters can only show in 4K as it is.
Yeah.
So I didn't feel like visually there was anything that was
different from the original film, like not.
Well, no, different from the 4K version that they showed at the celebration last year. Yeah. It was great. It was good. Okay. There was a couple things that I did catch. And I wanted to ask you about this because this is something that I saw that I had totally missed. At the end of the movie, during Baby I'm a Star, Prince, and I didn't notice it, out of the 100 times I've seen this movie, has a Band-Aid on his pinky finger on the right. When they first show it really quickly, it looks like it's a kid's Band-Aid. It has like some type of pattern on it. But then like a little bit later, it's like a cloth, it's like a flesh colored bandage. And matter of fact, I was able to find this little picture here and if you look really closely, he keeps his pinky underneath the microphone to hide the fact that he's wearing this bandage around his pinky. Oh. And I had never noticed that. And I literally was watching his pinky the first time I saw it. I was like, I'm really surprised that this is, I'll see if I can pull it up. I'll see if I can pull it up bigger. But I was wondering, do you remember if he cut his finger or something happened during that performance or?
Nope. Never noticed it even.
I'm going to see if I can pull up that same picture and like blow it up really, really big and see, yeah. Okay. Well, I guess that's a short answer to that question. Yeah. So let me see if I can pull that up and maybe possibly share it. What are some, anything that you specifically remember? I already pulled it up. Hold on. But this is not really a high resolution photo, but we're going to give it a shot anyways. Let's see if we can pull this up. Is this it? No, this is it here. All right, so I'm going to try to make this as big as possible. So I got to scroll down.
Oh, hey, what's going on, Corey Eischen? Happy birthday, man. I just said happy birthday to Corey Eischen.
It's Corey's birthday today?
I think it was today. Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't on Facebook today at all. I've been working in the studio all day long.
I started the day by wishing him a happy birthday on Facebook.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So obviously there's a little bit of a lower resolution, but you can see that pinky is bigger. It's because there's a Band-Aid on it. There's a flesh colored bandage that is on his pinky that's underneath.
Yeah.
And
go ahead.
Sorry.
And you said you saw another Band-Aid on that same finger, but it was a different Band-Aid in a different shot of the same scene.
It was "Baby I'm a Star," and it looked like it was like patterned or something.
Wait a minute.
So it's a different Band-Aid. So it might be a different Band-Aid on his finger because the continuity of the scene wasn't. He came back and did another scene after he changed a Band-Aid or another camera angle, maybe.
This looks like it's from like Beautiful Ones from like the outro.
Nope.
What is this from?
"Baby I'm a Star."
It is. Baby I'm a Star. Yeah.
All right. Hey,
end of the movie. End of the movie. Go ahead.
I noticed something the other day. So, Mr. Christopher, you saw this new version or you did not?
I did. I saw it Wednesday night.
So tell me something. Well, first off, I noticed a long time ago on TV, they took out that line, "You long-haired,"
F word, right.
And I was like, okay, I see. They're starting to, it's starting to wear differently on society. And the other thing I noticed the other night, I was laying in bed with my wife and it came on. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this. And I started talking to her about the scene where Prince is hanging from the ceiling of the basement.
Yes.
And I used to ask him questions sometimes, and sometimes he looked like he really didn't want to oblige me, but he would anyway. So I was like, Prince, I have kind of it might be a dumb question. I'm like, how did they do that? How did they, make it look like you were hanging from the ceiling? And he said, no, that's not a dumb question at all. Actually, the rope that's around my neck isn't the one I'm actually being suspended by. He said there was another rope around my waist, and it was out of the view of the camera. So he was actually his body weight was suspended by the rope around his waist. And then I'm like, here it comes. And they don't show it. It's out of the movie. Like there was just like a flash, like a bling. And then he starts tearing everything up. Like they took that scene out.
Yeah, it's still in the movie, but it is a flash. It literally is like it's not even a second. It's just like
I thought I saw it, but then I thought, like, where did it go? What happened? All right.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a flash. It's right before as he's kind of looking both sides and he's like, hyperventilating. Yeah. And it's just like a quick thing. But the purple hair, you long hair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Rabbit rhymes with rabbit. Basically, that's still in there. They kept that. Yeah. Really? So I was looking for the same thing. I was looking for what are they going to take out? Where are we? But they left it all in there. Well, as I don't know, Fink, if you are aware of this, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. But the original script was much, much darker than what ended up on the screen. Do you remember reading that script, and what were your thoughts?
Yeah, it was darker, but I don't remember the details anymore. By the way, my original copy of that first script was sold at auction.
Okay,
that was sold in the auction.
Oh,
the script.
How much did you get for it?
I don't remember.
That's just
I'd have to go look at the list. I have to go look at the list.
I sold my Graffiti Bridge script.
See, look at you. You sold something already.
Well, about $28.50, I think I got for it.
You mean $48?
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
I don't remember.
Oh my.
Okay. Like, hey, you want this? Oh, yeah. So.
Jesse said, Jesse Johnson, he said that we were talking about Purple Rain. I never remember what he says online and what's on the phone, but he was talking about Purple Rain, and he was like, I was ticked off because I didn't get an opportunity to get my SAG card because I didn't have a line in that movie. Oh. And I was listening the whole movie, watching it last Wednesday, and he does have a line, and it's not said with a bunch of other people talking. He's the only one talking. And they're walking down the hallway. It's right before that part where they go, "Let's get crazy, let's get nuts."
Yeah.
Right before they do that, Jesse turns to Jerome and goes, "I'm going to get 2 Cadillacs, JB." and I said, I literally, as soon as I was like, "Oh my God, I can't wait to get out of this movie." As soon as I got out of the movie, I texted him. I said, "Go get your SAG card."
Yeah.
Wow. Did he forget? Did he not remember? Was that a line in the script that he had to say, or did he make that up?
It was probably, I don't know. That was my other question, is like, does it have to be in the script?
I bet.
Does it have, because it's in the film, he says it, and there's not like a bunch of other people talking. It's like literally
that might have been in the script, or else they ad-libbed it for the scene. You never know.
Because you hear him say something, "You ain't even sweating. You ain't even sweating." On the way back with Morris.
Yeah.
You ain't even sweating.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that are cross talking, and there's a lot of like dialogue, kind of like
in the hallway. Yeah.
But in that one, when he says that, I was listening very, very closely. Okay. There's nobody else talking over him. Did you get your SAG card for your line?
Oh yeah.
And have you put that to use? Have you done any other films?
No, but I was in a local thing back in 2014. I did a cameo in a locally produced film, which showed at some theater in Uptown, and I went and saw it, and it was weird. It was a weird film, weird plot, weird just in general. And I had this weird scene in a dark bar, sitting at a table talking with these 2 guys about something. I don't even remember what I did. I'd have to go back. It was a weird thing. That's all I can tell you. I don't even remember the title of the film now.
It just gets that way, Fink. People walk up on me talking about all sorts of stuff. I don't recall it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
It's just like that. You've lived about 6-7 lifetimes, Fink. You can't be held accountable for all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a lot. Speaking of which, here's another lifetime. At one point in time, you had a recording studio called the Operating Room. You were recording loops for Sony, and you had Dr. Fink's Funk Factory, and then there was another one, Matt Fink's, what was it, Starview Session Keys. Have you ever considered recording any more of these or doing any more of these?
Yeah, But that was for Acid Loops software, which is kind of defunct now. That's a long time ago.
It's a shame. It's such a great software.
2000. Is it still active? I can't remember. Is it gone?
Yeah, it is.
2008. Okay.
Yeah.
It was cool. It was good for people who weren't necessarily musicians, and musicians alike could use it, but they could create stuff from loops and different stuff you create. But regardless of that, I've had offers to do libraries for Splice, which is this service that artists use. I've thought of doing a Splice library. I haven't gotten around to it because
what's Splice?
It's a sample library that you have a subscription to, and you can grab drum loops and keyboard parts and vocal lines with real singers. It's a huge library. It's massive, with loops and parts and things that people can incorporate into their music, so to speak. So I've thought about it, but haven't gotten around to it.
So here's gonna be
I'm kind of busy right now, but go ahead.
Well, yeah. What are you doing right now? Is it? I see somebody asking that right now.
What's Matt Fink doing these days? Right.
Right. Yeah.
Perfect timing.
Yeah. Perfect timing.
Well, I'm currently working with a new company actually, and they're developing an artist portal that will provide services to artists in the way of promoting their music, selling their merch, catering to their mental health needs, security issues at venues. Boy, I'd have to it's so new. I'm just getting involved in this, is
it anything to do with the My Music thing that you were doing before, or is that?
No, this is a whole another group of people.
Okay. That's cool. Well, I mean, and I think that's something that is desperately needed, especially for musicians right now. I think it's, Michael, you and I have talked about this, that, when you try to go out and you go do tours and stuff, and, it's such a struggle to get people to come out to your shows or to let people know about your shows, because it's just the internet's just saturated. It's just to get the word out effectively and make sure that it's going to hit all the people that you want to be able to come to the show. I mean, there's been plenty of times where, you know, somebody will tell me, "Oh, I just saw so-and-so in concert last night." I'm like, "They were in town? How? I totally missed that." But so, yeah, it's a service like that would be good.
So I have the overview of this new company. It's literally new. I mean, I'm just on the ground floor of this. It's a startup. I'm involved. I'm working with the heads of the company right now to help. I'm a consultant. And the issue too is that they're artists. They're people working here are also musicians, and so I've been working on their projects as well, playing keyboards and helping produce some stuff with them. So they have a label, and so I'll just read what this platform is going to do. It's called. The title says All Things Creative, an all-encompassing platform empowering creatives through educational resources, wellness support, and commerce opportunities. And then in parentheses, vision, entrepreneurship, education, business, and artist sales. And this is a very big endeavor, in my opinion, but I think it's going to be pretty cool going forward.
What's going to be your involvement in it?
Well, I'm going to be more of a sales kind of promotional spokesperson for the platform, and I'll also be a teacher because it's going to be AI assisted, and there's going to be AI assistance on this platform with developing actual curriculum for artists, people who are developing their talent. They can take classes and have AI assisted classrooms. But you
Very
know,
cool.
it's pretty. I mean, it would take you a while to go through this deck I have in front of me. I mean, it's a quite a bit. It's like here.
Well, when it's ready to be, you know, promoted or you know, or need any assistance, please let us know. I mean, we have plenty of musicians and artists that are part of this community. They would love to hear about it, I'm sure.
Oh, most definitely. I plan to do quite a bit of promotion for this once it's up and running, which hopefully will be soon. You know, this year they've already got everything developed for this. It's pretty much really close to being ready to go. It just but the portal, you know, it'll have comprehensive learning resources, tailored wellness and mental health support, streaming, commerce, and data platform, which, you know, empowers your creatives to be able to showcase, sell, and monetize their products and services through an intuitive, user-friendly platform. And it enables them to achieve financial autonomy and reach a wider audience as well. Curated directory of products and services, virtual and physical access. So there's a lot here. And there's another aspect to this company which will be involved with esports as well, and teaching esports and developing an esports facility. Actually, there's going to be a big facility built in Illinois based around esports and entertainment. There'll be music there, performances, theatrical work, and full-on esports gaming and teaching facility.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking, what is the name of the startup?
Well, the portal is so far has a name called VBAS, VEEBASS, which means Vision, Entrepreneurship, Education, Business, Artists, and Sales.
Okay. Yes.
So that's short for, so VBAS is the acronym for that. And so VBAS aims to empower creatives by providing the tools, resources, and opportunities to thrive in their personal and professional lives.
That's quite an undertaking. That to-do list is quite. I mean, even a few of those things is a lot. So, woof, it's a lot. We have about 6 questions here that I've kind of been starring.
Okay.
So these people
can we get this Voss Christian guy about Roadhouse Garden? Because
he's one of them. He's one of them.
What Fink has to say about it?
We can start there. So I've been starring questions as I've been as we've kind of been going. So this is one here. Voss Christian says, "Hey Jen, sorry to repeat myself. May I ask Dr. Fink about the Roadhouse Garden album and what the story was with that?"
Well, that's just another Prince album that got shelved. And and they've released parts of it in dribs and drabs now, I think, on special compilation records. Like when the big box set for Purple Rain came out, I think they put a few of the tracks on there.
No, he dropped
Did we
off.
just
I'll just-
lose him?
What's that? Say that
we
again.
we lost you for a second.
Me?
Yeah, but you came back. It was like you were gone and then back.
Did you get all the audio, or do I have to repeat anything?
No, it was just like maybe like 3 seconds of audio with that we lost. So
Okay.
it's fine.
Okay. Well, basically, that album got shelved because it was right around the time that Prince decided to disband the Revolution, and so it was a great album. Didn't participate a lot on that record. A little. I was brought in to do a little bit of session work, but at that time, I was embroiled in my first marriage. I was a newlywed at the time, and I was kind of busy, and then that was that. But they did that record, and then it never saw the light of day.
Well, because The Flesh was supposed to be the album that was released that would have been the Revolution's next album, and that was when I guess things kind of got separated out onto the Black Album and Sign of the Times and something else.
I was never privy to any of his machinations of album content and what he was doing at that time. Completely oblivious, other than what he'd show up and go, here's the cassette, go learn the songs. If I didn't play on it, here you go. Here's a new album, go learn that.
Really?
So,
it's just cut and dried. No
charts, nothing. I made my own charts so I could keep track of stuff at rehearsal, and then I'd memorize it, but I'd create my own chord charts for arrangement charts so I could.
Was there a system to the way you and Lisa separated parts?
Yeah, we just discuss what we wanted to play and who you want to take that. Oh, I'll take that. You take, sometimes Prince would actually orchestrate that too.
Yeah, because Chad asked him why Lisa switched spots on "I Would Die for You" and "Baby I'm a Star" on the Purple Rain tour. I was always curious
because she had to play piano on that one, and the piano was on the other side from where she usually was. I mean, I was usually on that side of the stage for most of the show, and then we switched towards at the end so she can be on piano there.
Oh, I got you. So you switched just for her on that one song
to be on piano. Yep,
got it.
I think we may have asked this. Charlotte says, how did Fink meet Prince? This is obviously going towards, we're definitely going out of time order here, but it is, I don't know that you said you hooked up with Prince, but what was that first meeting like and getting in the door and all that?
The first meeting was my actual audition for the band.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'd never met him prior to that.
And do you remember what you had to play when you showed up for that?
Yeah. I had to play Soft and Wet and Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad.
Awesome.
Or was Why You Want to Treat Me So Bad the second album?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, Just As Long As We're Together.
Oh, yeah, man. Album.
So I had to come in and play those songs.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like you had to program the patches, or he had something for you to play?
He had everything there ready to go. He had all his keyboard rigs ready to go. I didn't even bring a keyboard in for this. They said, you don't need to bring a keyboard. We have all the keyboards here.
Man, all right, Prince.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was already well funded by Warner Brothers. They'd gone out and bought all the gear they needed at that time.
See, I got the impression that when he got his advance or whatever, that he spent he was very smart with his money. I remember Doug Nelson, bass player, said that he saw Prince driving around in like a new little Toyota hatchback, or something.
It was a Datsun. It was a Datsun.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, okay. It was like big enough for like his gear, and but he was sensible. He didn't blow it. He spent it on.
He was smart. He was smart, but excuse me. In those early years, he was literally writing the checks weekly to the band for rehearsal before we even toured or played live. Those first 2 months I was in the band, he had a checkbook. He would write the check we were rehearsing in Peppy Willie's basement, and he'd write those checks to each band member.
Wow!
Once a week.
That's all right. That's
Yeah, little rehearsal checks
Mm-hmm.
to keep us afloat. Well, I was still living at my parents'.
Yeah, I was
Yes.
too when I joined the band.
Sure.
I was going to Augsburg.
There you
Augsburg
go.
College.
Nice. That's a good place.
Yeah, I learned a
Uh,
lot.
Next
Shadow
question.
asks, please ask Matt about his doctor persona and how he acquired the name.
Oh, okay.
We've heard this story, but there's some new
There are
folks out there
people.
who haven't
There are
heard it.
people that still haven't heard this story. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Okay. Well, if you had been listening the whole time, you noticed that we opened for Rick James in early 1980, and it was on that tour that I became the doctor because Rick James was wearing the same outfit that I had on stage for one of the songs that he was performing on his tour, which was a song called "Bustin' Out of L7."
Oh yes.
And so he would come on stage for that one song, and he'd have a black and white striped jailer's bird outfit. And of course, that was my look at the time. If you go back on YouTube, go watch if you haven't seen it already, go watch the American Bandstand debut television performance by Prince.
Yeah.
And I was wearing the jail suit. And I
thought you just had like a striped shirt on.
No.
And, okay. It went
No.
all the way to the floor. All right.
No, the pants and the thing, it was a full-on jailer's outfit.
Okay.
Black and white.
Well, did you have was there a ball and chain hanging on?
No.
All right. I wonder how far you took it, man. I couldn't see.
No, I didn't go that far.
All right.
But okay, so that was that. So by the time we got on with Rick James later that year, after debuting on American Bandstand, we were about 3 shows into the tour, and Prince comes to me before the 3rd show, and he goes, "I'm sorry to say you're going to have to change your look because Rick James is wearing a jail suit on that one song." And I go, "Oh, really? Did he come to you and request that I change my look?" He goes, "No." I go, "Well, then why are you making me change my look?" "Because he's the headliner and he's wearing your outfit on that song, and I don't want you to be wearing the same outfit that he wears in a song." And I went, "Okay, that doesn't make any sense to me," I said in my brain, but I said, "Okay."
And how'd you settle on that?
Well, he says to me, he goes, "Did you have any other thoughts before you picked the jail suit? Did you have any other ideas previous to this of looks?" I go, "Well, what about the one look you gave me to do the very first show we ever did at the Capri Theater in January of 1979? And he goes, "Do you mean that paratrooper authentic khaki jumpsuit I gave you that didn't fit me? That I couldn't wear it, so I gave it to you?" I go, "Yeah, that one." He goes, "Nope, that's too boring and bland. No, you don't wear that." I go, "Well, what about my other suit that I had made, that really cool gold tuxedo with the black lapels with the tux and whole thing and the vest?" "Nah, that's too Elton Johnny.
Yeah.
Too Elton. Yeah, it's too
Elton Johnny.
cheesy. Too
Elton
cheesy."
Johnny.
Yeah. I go, "Okay." He goes, "Any other thoughts?" I go, "Well, I thought about a guy in a doctor's suit, scrub suit, but because it was a powder blue scrub suit, I thought it was too bland and doctory. It's kind of boring. It's not flashy enough for stage. So I dropped that idea." He goes, No, wait a minute. Doctor suit? What if you became like a whole doctor and we made you look like a surgeon or something?" And I go, "What do you mean?" "Well, we'll get you all like a stethoscope and stuff." I go, "I don't know. Let's try that." I go, "Okay."
Yeah.
So that day they went out and got all my stuff at a uniform doctor. You could go to those places to get scrub suits and doctor, accoutrement. And they brought me a stethoscope, surgeon's cap that they wear for sterilization to keep the hair out of the patient's, incision. They had the little mirror thing here for reflecting the light into the body cavity. And then I had my bug eye glasses, which I was already wearing with the jail suit. So I had the glasses, the wraparound, and then the mask, of course, on the face, which Prince insisted I wear the mask on stage right away. And so I went, "That's uncomfortable. It's making my glasses steam up."
And underneath those lights.
I
Oof, it's
can't
gonna be
see
hot.
I can't see anything on the first song. As soon as I'm breathing, it's going up in the mask. It's going into my glasses.
Yeah.
He goes, well, you take it off after the first song. I go, yeah, but I can't see what I'm doing. He said, that just pretend you're Stevie Wonder.
That was.
No, he didn't say that. I'm joking.
Oh,
I'm joking. I'm joking. These are jokes. Sorry, he didn't say that. He didn't say that.
Oh Lord.
You know where the keys are.
That's terrible.
Listen,
No,
I know Fink's winding down. Fink wants to go, but I got to ask you a question, Fink.
Yeah.
Before we continue,
Okay.
you ever have anybody like get in your face, like all high and mighty about like working with one of the most lascivious artists in history? Anybody ever give you like real, real lip service about working for Prince?
No.
Never anybody challenge you, in a
Challenge me in what way? What do you mean? Like, for example?
on matters of the spirit, whether or not you were being sacrilegious, whether it was blasphemous, what you guys were doing.
Back in the day, in the early years when
a lot of people left over apparently over religious reasons.
Nobody came to me and complained or said anything like, hey, are you concerned about the overt sexuality that he's presenting in here? And I said, well, some people did ask that.
Okay.
And so, but they didn't like berate me over it. They did ask if I was concerned. And I said yes. And I expressed my concerns to Prince too. And then after talking to him, I realized that it shouldn't be a concern. Sure. Because there were other artists before him that were breaking ground like that anyway before. And so I went with it.
Right on. Okay. I just wondered.
Yeah. No, I didn't. I personally, I'm a rebel at heart. I'm just one of the all-time rebels. Just ask my parents, or well, they're not here. They can't say. But
can we ask your kids?
My kids, they don't. They haven't really seen my rebellion side. Right. Yeah, but regardless of that. Oh, speaking of kids, my son Maxwell, who's also about to debut his latest EP in Minneapolis Thursday night.
What? Nice.
Yeah. Thursday
Where's that
night. That's going to be at it's called the Central Station up on Central Avenue, North Minneapolis. It's like, let me get the address.
Oh, I know where that is.
It's a kind of a newer joint. Hold on a second. It's the Central Station, 4030 Central Avenue, Northeast Minneapolis. If you're in Minneapolis and you want to catch my son's doing a track show, his artist name is Max Millie. You can catch him on SoundCloud, and it's MVXMILLI is how he spells his stage name.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's had music out for quite a while, and but this is his latest thing that he's putting out and performing. He was performing out in LA regularly when he lived there up until late 2023. He moved back to Minneapolis after 8.5 years out there.
I see. How did you like it?
How did he like LA?
Yeah.
He loved it out there. He's been, he'll probably go back eventually, but he had to come back here for a while. He had a relationship there that was not good.
Right on.
It's how it is when you're with women sometimes. Things can be funny.
Yeah. Things can be funny.
Ha ha.
Well, look. A lot of people know I was married once before. Thank God I found the right woman in my life, and that was it. But it happens.
Sometimes that's what it takes. Sometimes you find the right one, man. Yeah.
Hey, I know. I have people like married 4 times. I know people 3-4 times. Donald Trump. Okay, sorry.
I have a couple questions before I let you go. I know there's some other questions here, but we can't keep them all night.
Sure.
But so I do have a question about.
It's almost past my bedtime. I'm old. Okay.
You need to hurry this.
Go ahead.
Yes, the new tour was the last time I think Fink and I were on stage together. It's possible, but it is. It was at the Caboose with Phil Solem and John Fields.
Well, yeah, we've done some little gigs here and there at post Prince.
Yeah, there was a Prince tribute at the Caboose a different night.
Yeah, we've done some other shows,
We've been, Fink and I have been friendly ever since like 1989, I think.
Yeah, sure. Post Prince.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to see all of us together on April 19th at the Hopkins Center for the Arts. So don't miss that.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be you know what's cool about this? I've never shared the stage with Tommy Barbarella before.
Right.
I'm really looking forward to that. He's an amazing keyboardist. And all the other people there. Levi Caesar, you know, I used to work with Levi.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So a lot of people there. And you got everybody. Remember, I was in the MPG for 4 years. I was in the first iteration of the MPG after the revolution. So, yeah.
A lot of people were talking about that too. There was some questions that surrounded that as far as like your relation with the revolution. But this can kind of spiral off into the question that I was going to ask you was about, you know, last year. Paisley Park, the estate, whatever, did Celebration 2024 that was Purple Rain focused. You guys did the panel there. You did the show in at First Avenue Friday and Saturday. Before I ask this question though, I do want to find out about this. You guys had already had First Avenue booked on Friday and Saturday, correct? And then the estate just kind of latched themselves onto the Friday night. Is that what happened?
Yeah.
So now we've got 2025 Celebration that they've indicated is going to be Purple Rain 2.0. Have you guys, as the Revolution, been approached at all about any participation in this new celebration that's happening in June? 3 months from now, March?
No.
Mid-June?
No. There's been no talk of anything yet.
We are 3 months out.
Yep.
March, April, May, June. We're 3 months out. Okay, that's that question. But I don't know what to think about that. I assume that they can't do Purple Rain 2.0 unless the Revolution or somebody's involved somehow, or maybe they can. I don't know.
They can do whatever they want. Really,
right? Agreed. Absolutely agreed.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you want to see, they've already talked about, if you want to see them play, specifically Michael Bland and the mighty Dr. Fink, I will actually.
That's right.
There's right there.
Don't lose Fink. Don't lose him. Yeah.
No, we're not losing him.
Yeah, okay.
They got the Together event.
Am I back? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, you're back. The Together event. It's happening Saturday, April 19th. As I said, these two fine gentlemen will be on the stage together. I will be there also, but not on stage. I'll be down there watching with you guys. But I will be there as well. But this is a get together with the New Power Generation members, Tommy Barbarella, Michael Bland, Levi Caesar Jr., the Honorable Dr. Fink of the Revolution, of course, Homer Odell and Rick Kinchin, G Sharp, JB, Ashley Commodore, and the UC Horns, all happening in Hopkins, Minnesota, April 19th. Which is a Saturday. And after this event, if you want to get tickets to this, funkatopia.com/NPG. Easy enough. Just go to funkatopia.com/NPG. It takes you right to the ticket window for this. There's no, it's not an affiliate link. We don't get kickbacks. We just want you guys to go to the show. Also, after this event, the after party that's happening, DJ Dudley D is having an event at, I don't know, I can't remember the name of the venue, but it is, there's a $30 dance party that's happening with DJ Dudley D. And then on top of that, you want to make a weekend of it, a 3-day weekend. Monday is the 9-year anniversary of Prince's transition off of this mortal coil. So if you guys want to be down there in the motherland on the 9-year anniversary, he passed away on the 21st. So you could pretty much make a 3-day weekend of it if you really want to spend some time just kind of absorbing the music of Prince, hanging out with Purple Family, and just, continuing to kind of push forward that legacy. And hopefully some really, really positive vibes will happen on this weekend. So you guys need to do this though. Funkatopia.com/NPG. Get your tickets and see Mr. Matt Fink here and Michael Bland and all those fine folks from the NPG. It's going to be an amazing, amazing show. And of course, make sure you also check out Dr. Fink's son's release of his debut album that's going to be coming soon. What was it again? MVX. It's Max, but that's what they always do. They kind of
MVX VX MILLI Max Millie.
There you go.
Does he play keys at also?
Yeah.
Okay.
He
Somebody asked
produces
what he
and
does.
writes all his stuff. I mean, he's like he's doing a lot of really cool EDM music these days, and pop stuff and indie pop, and the stuff he did a few years ago was totally in the pop hip hop Post Malone space, very much in that vein.
Very cool.
And he had a label deal. He was with a record label, and so he's very good. I'm not just saying that because I'm his dad, either.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway,
I'm going to check it out. We're going to have some folks check it out. I've already got it written down. I'm going to check it out.
And of course, my other son is in the education business.
Oh, right on.
Yeah,
we need more
educational materials and stuff like that.
Yes,
man,
we need that.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give a warm round of applause for the one, the only Matt, Dr. Fink. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out.
How about that, Fink?
And I can guarantee you heard stories here tonight that he has not told on interviews before.
I know I can squeeze.
Right? I'm sorry. What? Go ahead. Say that again.
I said, I guarantee you've heard stories tonight that you have not heard in previous interviews. I'm positive of it.
My stories, you mean? My stories?
Yours,
good. I was just doing the post dance, the special. Yeah. YMCA. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Oh, I thought that was that looked like the Trump. I thought you were doing the Trump dance. I guess
I was.
The Trump dance. Oh, you're not doing it right. You got to get.
Oh, it's this way. You got to go like. Oh, the hands go like this.
Yeah, like right. Yes, like you're.
That's right. I keep forgetting.
Like you're doing something else. I can see.
I was milking. I was milking the cow instead of the two guys.
You got to milk something else.
Instead of the two guys. The two guys. Okay.
You gotta, those two guys are. Come on now, don't leave them lonely now.
Oh, sorry.
Give him a hand there, Fink.
Okay.
Give him a hand.
Ladies and gentlemen, once again, Dr. Fink, thank you so much, man. We appreciate it.
I'm Slappy White all of a sudden.
Have a good night, everybody.
Good night. We'll see you in April.
Yeah.
Take care. Good night.
Take care. Oh my goodness gracious.
Yeah, man. How about that Fink? He came alive when we started talking about Diddy, didn't he?
Oh, well, I debated. I was like, I debated.
You pushed for it. I wasn't gonna do it.
I saw the look on your face. I brought it up, and I about couldn't breathe
because I can't keep all the bad thoughts inside. And I was fighting really hard. Like I don't want to go there. He's talking about Diddy. Oh boy. I'm turning into Stefan from Saturday Night Live. Like, I better not say anything. I'm gonna let him just.
Well,
see what he came to say.
Yeah, Funkatopians know if anybody's gonna say it, it's gonna be me. It's like, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. Oh my gosh. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for hanging out tonight. It has been a lot of fun. I actually had like a whole nother section that I was going to do talking about the best. What was it? I was like, I always have this backup plan. Like if somebody doesn't show up, we can talk about. And one of the things that we're going to have to do this, who was one of the best super groups? And I'd made a list of some super groups that like Animal Logic that you had brought up.
All right.
The Highwaymen, Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, Traveling Wilburys, Prophets of Rage, that stuff. I was like,
I got a question though.
We're gonna have to get into these topics sometime.
Does the Brides of Funkenstein do they qualify? Because you had, I guess they don't because you had Dennis Chambers, Cherokee on bass,
Don Silva,
Blackbird McKnight, Dwayne was on guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember who was on keys in that band, but man, that's like the baddest band I ever heard in my life.
Mm-hmm. Power Station, right? Yeah, Power Station. There you go, Brian. Power Station.
Absolutely. Once again, but
Audio Slave, Blind Faith, them Crooked Vultures. I mean, there's so many freaking bands.
There's a lot of good ones. Yeah,
it's like Don't worry, folks. We will do these topics. We just kind of take these and this work through it. We'll work through it.
That's a good one. No, we could definitely do a show on that. I know a lot about that. If I just just knock my brain around a little bit, I'm sure.
On it. sure, coming from the world of Soul Asylum, you know, you've crossed paths with probably a lot of these dudes.
Well, yeah, I'm you know, I'm a bit of a I don't know. It's like the
Savant.
no, yes, but it's not only that. It's just the fact that I
Journeyman.
yeah, I've worked with almost other than Dylan and you know, like who, like Information Society, maybe.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that. A lot of they came out of Minneapolis. I've rubbed shoulders, most likely. You know, so
you still got plenty of stories to tell.
I pride myself on it though, because it's all been different music. I mean, working for Paul Westerberg was nothing like working for Dave Pirner. You know, it's a you'd think that they would be much more similar, but they're actually very different.
Oh yeah, see, a lot of you guys weren't here for that. Yeah, Ken says I can rewatch the show, but what did Doctor say about Diddy? Well, first off, what a lot of people don't know is that Dr. Fink worked with P. Diddy on the Making the Band TV show, and so he had some stories. Now he didn't. He got paid in actual money, not baby oil. How
many bottles of baby oil did he give you for the session, Fink? I wanted to say it so bad.
Take 3 cases.
Johnson & Johnson sponsored your payment. Is that what I'm to understand?
It was so he had some stories. You're gonna have to rewatch because that's pretty much high level. There was some I Spy moments that we'll discuss.
I think we got him a little shook, and some stuff came out he didn't necessarily intend to speak on. All right.
I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit surprised that he went. I've never seen him do it. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I've never seen him do an interview like the one he did tonight. I'm gonna flat out say it.
Yeah, me neither.
Every interview,
dude. Yeah.
Every interview I've seen Fink do, it's just kind of like calm, answer the questions, just like a general. He was in a space.
I think we both got him juiced up. I told you I wanted to be here for it because he and I have been getting so familiar with one another lately. So I thought maybe he'd relax a little bit, and he did.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're not in a rush, I did star some questions that were specifically for you.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
This one, I guess I should have put this one. I'm sorry, Julie, about your top 3 moments of 81 to 90. I knew that was he was already yawning, so I was like,
you're gonna let it go when he's ready to go.
Yeah. Let's start with P Funk Meme says question. Oh no, that was him too.
I was going to try to get that in there, but I didn't find an opportunity.
Do you have any favorite moment in your career with Prince? That's kind of open.
My latest favorite moment is pretty much any part of the Diamonds and Pearls box set DVD. I mean, pretty much that.
Yeah, dude.
I didn't realize. To be honest, I didn't realize how good we were, and that was we were just getting started there. By that summer, couldn't nobody touch us, man. That was January. Right. By the time we went out for summer tour, that band was so vicious, man. I mean, on the DVD, we're having a lot of fun, but we turned mean somewhere in rehearsal when we started cranking the screws down. We got really aggressive, man. You know, like in a good kind of way. Like we had it. You know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, you guys were a monster. And I think a lot of that's lost because if people didn't get an opportunity to see you play live, you missed some of that really raw, crazy energy, that kind of, that type of stuff.
Kirk Johnson said that was not of the concerts they had in archive that were multi camera shoots. He said this was not necessarily the best show that they saw, but it was one of the only ones where they had multi-track the show, like they could mix it after, like post.
Wasn't that Scott McCullough that did the videography on that?
I believe so.
Because I had Scott on the show, and I hope I'm getting it right. Scott McCullough is a videographer, and he's done a lot. He did a lot of the videos for the Diamonds and Pearls era and stuff. and he also did, but he also was talking. I think, if I remember correctly, sometimes everything crosses paths. You know, we get old.
Sure.
Anyways, he was talking about this club, and he was saying the lighting was horrible. It was like non-existent. There wasn't like it was as far as to accommodate videography.
Right.
And it was just like a nightmare. So that's the reason why they kind of had to set up in really strange places. And it was just the way that it was set up was really awkward and whatnot. So do you remember any cameras being in your face or any floating cameras running around or?
No, there was only that shot of me that they keep kind of going back to. Kind of lit, but I was back there in the corner of the stage. Like nobody could really see me. Sonny was kind of in front of me. But I didn't have there was no key light on me. Oh, well, God bless you, Brian Stinson. Thank you so much. I will acknowledge that is your opinion, sir. I think that, anybody who sat in that seat for more than a year is pretty bad, you know? So,
yeah.
I mean, anybody who spent any real time working for Prince as a musician, you had to really bring it. So I got respect for everybody, really.
Yeah. That's it was Scott. Scott did it in fact. It was the 92 Glam Slam show. Yeah. Yeah. There was a lot of comments there, a lot of love, and rightfully so, I might add.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I mean, we tried really hard, but we were young, and most of us, we were trying to make our mark, I mean, Levi had been there. So he was like, he was a perfect sort of musical director and kind of, liaison between us and Prince, because we didn't understand how a lot of things worked, And Levi, he was an old school pro. Levi had played in a band called O'Brien back in the day. You remember O'Brien at all?
It sounds familiar. I'll have to look him up.
O'Brien, I remember they had one kind of really big like R&B hit, but I think they're maybe even more famous for, they did the Soul Train. Oh, Soul Train is coming. They did that.
Was it You and I? This has got to be old.
Maybe.
There's a song called Oh and I. I'm trying to look it up. This person keeps coming up named Olivia O'Brien, which I guess is a new artist that's out here right now. But there's an O'Brien that's
that's black dude, probably with a Jerry curl. Leather boots on. Protege of Don Cornelius. That makes sense because Levi used to tell me stories about him recording with Don Cornelius and how he was kind of a direct communicator. Like, he said that Don really knew what he was talking about. Like he knew music and he knew how to use people correctly.
I think it's hilarious that both you and Fink had P. Diddy stories.
Oh yeah, I mean mine is way less.
I had the only stories that I have were when my friend and I went to R. Kelly's birthday party. And this was obviously before he's in jail, but it was a private birthday bash that he had, and it was crazy.
You were at the R. Kelly party?
Yes. Yeah, I was there. It was pretty off the hook. It was in downtown Atlanta. It was pretty ridiculous.
I bet, man.
It was ridiculous. Yeah. So yeah. When you're in Atlanta, you're gonna cross paths with some insane. Let me just say,
every time I'm there, I'm out in the suburbs playing at some park with Soul Asylum, like around a bunch of squares. I never get to be inner city. I always joke with Dave Perner. We going to what's the name of the club?
Well, it was the Gold.
We going to Magic City, Pern. Trying to take Dave Perner to Magic City.
I've been to Magic City twice in my life. Obviously, it does not.
Heaven? Was it heaven on earth?
It does not skew white. Let's just put it that way. So
it does not skew white. All right.
So the reason why I say that is because basically I go into this club. I am standing out. I am like a flashlight in the dark.
Yeah, you like one piece of rice in a bowl full of black beans.
Hey, so needless to say, there's like a lot of attention when I walk in there. But I had a good enough time that I went back again.
I was going to say, black people usually, hey man, you know what? Black people are usually open, man. They figure you're adventurous. You're a little curious. You want to see what's going on.
Oh, it was.
We usually
it was
don't get uptight about that. Let that white boy in here. Let him see what we do.
Oh yeah, no, I've been in plenty of those situations.
I can tell from how comfortable you are around us that you've been around us for a hot minute. That's all right, Mr. Christopher.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. There was another question. Who had this other question? Oh, can you ask Michael about the Knee to Me album? I just found a copy at a record store here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
That's like almost the first time I ever recorded in a studio.
Really?
And it was with a friend of mine. His name is Rick Ziegler. He still lives in Los Angeles. He's a music editor on films. He used to work for Sandra Bullock's company quite a bit, actually.
Okay.
He got me out of high school. I was 16, and he put an advertisement in the band room at my high school at South High. He was looking for like a drum section. He wanted like 4 dudes, and so pretty much like me and 3 other dudes from like the drum section from Wind Ensemble. We went over to dude's house one evening, and pretty much it was like, okay, what happened was basically, well, we just need that guy. That's what happened. Like, get the black kid. The black kid is the one, yeah. So it was like, thank you, gentlemen, and the other dudes kind of left.
I instantly recognized you on the cover.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I got a flat top like Clarence Clemens, and I'm kind of. I've been a goof my whole life, man. But yeah, I mean, I don't know what I could really tell you about it. It was recorded mostly in Northfield, Minnesota, by a guy named Steve McKinstry at a studio called Salmagundi Studios, and it was recorded basically from probably 9 o'clock at night till about 5 or 6 in the morning for about a week. We were recording basics, and it was an incredible experience. It was my first kind of recording, the first time I really recorded on an album, and we had a lot of fun making it, and nobody bought it.
Yeah, I've played. I sang on did background vocals for a band, local band here in Atlanta called The Adventures of Kayla and Steve, and it was the same thing. It was a great album, really good, strong stuff. And I, was blessed enough to sing on that album because she was just like, poof, she's so amazing. So, but yeah, same thing. It was like, didn't get any traction. It's like, this is.
But good experience. One to grow.
Oh yeah, sure.
Grow on, brother.
Yeah, man. Yeah, absolutely. That's it.
Sure.
Kids is the only color they care about in Magic City is green. That's right.
They don't care if you're white, yellow, black, or.
Yeah, we had a good. We had a good time. There was still remember there was this stripper named Diamond that literally was, I don't know if she was just attracted to me or she was just playing. I mean, I didn't have any money. It was obvious she didn't have any money.
See, that's the thing. You tell them that, then maybe you get to see what the real situation is going on.
But she literally hung out with me like all night, and all the guys that I went with were like, why is this? She's, because strippers are there to make money, and he's like, she's hanging out with this white guy all night that does not have any money. It's like,
yeah, but you know what? Actually, usually the establishment, I think, frowns upon that. I was in such a place, such an establishment once, and one of the dancers, she came and sat down and started talking to me, and she was very intelligent. Like smart, like we were just kind of just talking, just chatting, and I think I saw some dude kind of come up and get in her ear, like if like time is money, if you're not working, get out, go home, something like that. And it was like, okay, right. Well, all right, I mean, it's Well,
I was trying to. I was hoping I could find it. I'm trying to see if I could find it. Hold on a second, I got to find it. I've got to. I mean. Oh, come on. It's got to be here somewhere. Oh, there it is.
We have footage of you at...
No. Let me see this place.
This is a...
Oh, 1 second. Is this right?
I heard this is a
business. This is a business.
Yay!
You ain't going to see that yet.
Yeah. Billy Sparks.
This is a business. Man. And you ain't too far gone to see that yet.
Let me tell you something. The first time I met Billy Sparks, he had a sweatsuit on he looked like he came right out the movie.
Exactly. Exactly.
And I said to Prince, I said, how many years has it been? And nothing's any different. It's the same as it ever was. And Prince just fell out laughing. He's like, yeah, I guess. You know.
I met him in the lobby. It was at the Atlanta Civic Center, and I think it was a hit and run tour. And Billy Sparks, he was out in the lobby, just walking around talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And I said, I wasn't doing selfies then. I was, just asking for autographs. I said, can I get your autograph? And he kind of looked at me for a second, then looked at my shoes and looked up and he goes, I ain't signing shit.
No, man. Listen. I asked Prince, I said, how did you guys get him to act so angry? And the Prince said, act. He showed up that way every day. He showed up mad. Come on, Prince, let's do this now. It's freezing out here.
And
what you doing, man?
And yes, he is still alive. Matter of fact, he was at the celebration last year.
Yeah,
I have a picture. I have a picture somewhere.
He's alive for sure. Yeah, he ain't going. He's just like he was in the movie. Hey, you're hollering at people in the hallway at Paisley Park.
Yeah, exactly.
What did I tell you about that? I said to Prince, I said, some things never change. He said, I'm gonna make a video, put him in it, and put that caption right underneath.
Yeah, it was real nice. And I told him that story too. I told him that story about meeting him back then. He goes, "Oh," I said that.
Yeah,
I was like, "Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. It's okay. It's all right."
Yeah, we were all we had a little pepper on us coming out of that. It was a high stress environment. It made you, kind of prickly.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Axel says, have you ever touched on working with the administration? Actually, when you and Levi were on, you and Sonny were on, we talked about the administration a little bit, but I mean, you can kind of, give a high level.
I mean, what's there to say, really? I mean, he hired in my opinion, the best band he could have gotten. It was my friends. It just happened to be, who happened to benefit from the situation. John Fields was the mastermind behind it all. He basically told Nick Jonas. John had produced the Jonas Brothers records, and also Switchfoot, The Beautiful Letdown, he produced. Also,
great album.
Yeah, we talked about this before. But and he goes to Nick. He says, "Hey, listen, man, you don't want to be. You ever heard of a guy named?" He said, "Have you ever heard of a guy named?" What is his name?
Nick Jonas?
No.
Well, who are you talking about?
I'm talking about John Fields was asking Nick, like, have you he said, have you ever heard of a guy named Danny Bonaducci? And Nick says, no. He said, there's a good reason for that. This guy was a star in his teen years, and he didn't diversify quickly enough to actually, capitalize on the momentum he had. Like, instead, he went the sex, drugs, and rock and roll route instead of trying to figure out how to sustain himself in this business. So he kind of warned Nick, like, you need to probably take yourself a little more seriously. Why don't you try making a record? Why don't you, like, what are you hot to do that your band hasn't been doing? So I played on a couple of songs on Lines, Vines, and Trying Times is the name of the record, a Jonas Brothers record.
His brother's band DNCE.
Yeah.
Those boys, holy cow.
Yeah.
I love those guys. I found the picture of me and Billy Sparks in Minneapolis.
Yes, man. Yeah,
there is. Yeah, he's still he's alive and well. He's alive and well.
No, what's this one song? Yeah, right. He's ready to spit that out any minute.
Yeah.
But so I had been working with them in the studio a little bit already. So it was like, well, let's start with Michael. And Nick was like, well, who else? Is like, and John was basically like, well, why don't we get Barbarella on keys? Well, who's that? Well, he's, like he just kind of handed us over to Nick, and we were it was a good run. We had a lot of fun, man. They paid us well. They put us up in all the best hotels, first class flights, Prevost bus. I mean, they really treated us so well. And to this day, Nick sometimes comes through town and he'll call, and try to, when it's possible, we'll play like surprise gigs with him here in Minneapolis. But yeah, so I mean, he also has come through bunkers. Like he brought his whole entourage through bunkers one time. He played at, like, how they have those radio, like I Heart Radio presents, like, Jingle Bell, whatever,
Jingle Ball.
The Jingle Ball, and so like they came down to bunkers, and I guess this is like around Thanksgiving, and our lighting guy Crow was cooking like a couple of turkeys in the kitchen, and they came in, and I was like, "How, Young Mogul?" I call Nick Jonas Young Mogul. Young Mogul, what's going on, man? He said, "Not a whole lot, man. We just did the thing. We were actually wondering if there's anywhere to, maybe to eat downtown." It was kind of late. And Crow happened to be near me. I was like, "Crow, we got any turkey left?" He's like, "Hey, who wants to eat? Come on!" And he like took like all 10 of them in the back of the kitchen, and served them. And it was, it was just, that's how you're supposed to treat people. When
that's
they come
right.
to your house, you're supposed to, treat them like their family. Why not?
That's right.
Especially if if they left a positive impression on you and they've done right by you. It's like, I've got friends all over the world that I haven't seen or spoken to in many years, but we had a great time, basically. I don't know what else to say about it.
I mean, and it was such a great, it was not, I'll be honest, the album is good, but it was not what I was expecting. Because when I saw the band lineup, I was like expecting like
some funk.
Well, yeah, just to do what you guys do, and I was just like, well, this is good though. But so it's just kind of like, it was, once I stepped back away from that, I was like, okay, that's on you. That's not on them. That's on you.
Exactly. That's what a lot of people are like, oh man, why would you hire, why would you buy a Hummer and drive it around the block and then park it? A lot of people were saying that, like, you got the best band in the world, man. This is what you got them doing. Like, you don't understand it all. Listen, music is music to me.
It is.
I love all music. I thought the record was a good record. I thought for his first album, as a solo artist, clearly he learned enough to take, charge of it the next time around. By the time he got Jealous out, he proved he could stand on his own 2 feet, but we were there for him when he took the first few steps,
I mean, if you guys, I would not have been surprised if I had heard that you guys were part of the DNCE project. It's because that was just, so much. It was surprise. This we already know the answer to. I only have 2 more. Anthony says, "Is there a Brothers album? I'm ready to pick it up." There is not one.
No, but there's plenty of merch. If you go on what is it? Band merch, Bandcamp. I think you can find some of our merchandise there. We're kind of in a hiatus. I'm sort of working on some other things right now, and Sonny's traveling or getting ready to travel, which is the reason why we're not going to be able to have him on the April 19th show. It's
it'd be good. No, it would be good to have one, but there's a lot of planning, and then you got to have all these songs and stuff. Right now, it's just a matter of just making sure that you guys are getting your fill. So that's just
we're just trying to. I mean, we can't all be in the same place at the same time all the time. We're all messengers. We just got to spread it wherever we're at, wherever we're placed. We got to do the work.
Last question.
Mm-hmm.
Last question is from Yash. Said, "Is there no possibility of a pay-per-view live stream of the Together Show for fans around the world?"
No possibility.
Well, it's always a possibility, but the problem is that to set something up like this, there is so much that goes into it. I'll
tell you what. As a matter of fact, I think that I think the venue is filming the show. So it might be up to them, what they might want to do with the footage.
Are they filming it like First Avenue films it, where it's just like one camera shot?
No, I think it's a real deal because the the guy who's running that part of the operation has been really hassling us. So I think it's a big deal for them.
Oh, okay. Cool.
So we'll see. I mean, you'll see when I see, Chris. So
that's right. And for those who are wondering what we're talking about,
yes, Indie Face again.
April 19th, Michael and myself and Dr. Fink and Tommy Barbarella and Levi Caesar Jr., we will all be there hanging out. So you guys need to come to Hopkins, Minnesota on April 19th. It's on a weekend, so you don't even have to take any days off of work. Matter of fact, I'm flying out Saturday morning and then flying back Sunday night.
Well, all right, man. It'll be good to see you for a hot minute.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Gonna be hanging out.
Share some buffalo wings with you backstage, man.
Yeah, there you go.
You eat chicken?
Of course I eat chicken.
All right, people.
Oh yeah, no. I'm so always surprised when people say they don't eat chicken, unless you're a vegetarian or vegan or whatever else. But yeah, no, chicken is my go-to.
All right,
protein. That's
Let's see if we can't get our hands on some wings, a couple different flavors, man.
Oh, nice. I will do it.
The dressing room just stripping bones, just like a wood chipper.
Yeah. And if you want to get tickets to this event, funkatopia.com/NPG. You don't have, it's so easy to remember. Funkatopia.com/NPG. Just go there. It will take you right there. It'll show you can. Right. It pulls up the screen and you can see what seats are available. It's already already halfway sold out. I think I looked like this right before earlier today, but it was like. So
it's around half, I think. About 3. It's only 700 capacity. It's last time I checked, and this was probably a couple of weeks ago. It was about 350.
Is it a seated menu? Because it does show seats. I thought there was like a GA type of setup like you guys did last time with the other thing, but it was apparently not.
It's seats this time, and a lot of people complained they didn't have seats at the Uptown. So they'll get some of those people will get what they wanted, I think.
Yeah, but you got to get
some relief for their knees.
Yeah, at least it's not the city winery. We got to sit and play to people while they're
we're gonna get we're gonna get nasty with it, man.
Yeah.
Sitting or standing. Some freaking going on.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Man, let me tell you, we had a great night tonight. We got to do a little pre-show action for you guys, and Fink came on. And if you missed any of the interview, you got to see this. He's never done an interview like he did tonight. He was really loose.
He let the dogs out.
He let the dogs out. We were talking P. Diddy. We were talking all kinds of craziness. Yeah. It was pretty ridiculous. So, yeah. Great show. Glad you guys joined. As it stands right now, nothing on the books for next week unless something kind of gets locked down. I will tell you that the first week of April, I believe that first Tuesday, we're going to be joined by an amazing bass player. She goes by the name of Mohini Day.
Oh, yeah.
Mohini Day is probably going to join us that first week of April, but we're kind of tinkering around with some dates. So if you like Mohini, please tune in because she is a monster. Oh my God, she's a monster.
Yeah, and I know you got me on the case trying to get Barbarella maybe not locked down sometime in.
Oh yeah, we got
in the near future. So I'll speak to him again.
Yeah, we got some great dates available, and man, if we can bring it to you, we'll bring it to you. That's all there is to it.
That's all right. Yeah, that's the best you can do, man.
That's it. That's all you can do.
Can.
That's right. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys so much for joining us. We will talk to you later. Maybe we'll see you next week. Maybe not. We'll see what happens. But for right now, just stay tuned and stay lit. Go to funkatopia.com/NPG. Get those tickets for this April 19th show. And if worst case scenario, we'll see you there. Good night. Good night. Good night.